3, 2.
Well, guys, here we are. Today we bury a friend. No, I'm kidding. Well, okay, we obviously there's a lot of heat coming from the last episode we did involving our crew member AB, who, first of all, before we get into, I will vouch for him, his character as a very great worker and a great guy. So we do love AB. But what happened was AB went against the family.
Good luck, AB.
No,
because you're gonna fucking need it.
Oh my God. Keemstar's wow.
Can we hear that again?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Good luck, AB, because you're gonna fucking need it.
I don't think you're supposed to drop a F-bomb this early, but hey, what can we do about it? You're gonna need it. So,
Who's this episode brought by?
This episode's brought to you by Keeps. So anyway, you know, we did an episode yesterday talking about, the thing is we were having this internal debate about the whole David Dobrik situation because we had Trisha obviously has a lot to say about him, and then Big Nick came on and did an interview. Today actually we have Seth calling in too at 1 o'clock in about an hour to discuss his time with the Vlog Squad. And we've been having this internal debate because David has been, or AB has been defending David, or offering this alternative perspective on the situation. And then while we were all arguing about it because we disagree with AB, but I thought it would be interesting to bring the conversation on the air because I think it's interesting because you get to see the perspective of people, because there's a lot of people obviously that AB is obviously not alone in defending David. I mean, David's a super popular guy. He has a ton of fans. He doesn't really get that much shit. So I thought, if we're going to come here and shit on and just like have all this content about David, we should have, I mean, if we have someone on the cast who has an altering perspective, we should have that discussion. I mean, you know what I mean? Seems fair in theory, right? So anyway, AB, anyway, he attempted to, I don't know if I would say defend David, but give his perspective on matters. People were not too keen on it. Let's just put that lightly. He got a lot of heat. People were getting ready to bust, dude, yeah. So we're going to talk about that a lot. But before that, because I wanted to lighten it up a little bit, I just found this great TikTok, and I don't miss an opportunity to share something fun. Oh, it was removed. What was it? I don't even remember what it was.
Wow.
What?
That's how you know.
Wait, Dan, what was it? I showed it to you last night, right before, like really late, and you said, "Do you want me to save this?" And I said, "No, it's already in my document." Do you remember what it was?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't watch it. What was it?
It was the Dr. Phil clip, wasn't it?
No.
Play that though, just because, because I've got nothing better. What the F was it? Was so
You're
good.
disgusting. I'm going to kill you.
It was really late. I'm having a hard time remembering. I'm sorry. Let me think about it for a second.
Was it a Gorilla Glue thing?
No, although that's great too.
Dude, there's so many Gorilla Glue copycats now that we're going to talk about later too. There's the Gorilla Glue.
Copycats?
Yeah, I saw 2 already. One dude glued it to his face because he didn't believe it, and then he goes to the ER and he's going to have to get surgery.
God.
He's going to have to get it surgically removed. And then there's another girl putting...
Oh, I remember.
Go ahead.
It was the guy, the Slurpee guy.
Oh, man,
Filling
where
up
is
the bucket
that?
of Slurpee.
It was this video. This guy was at like an AM/PM, and he had a whole bucket, like a whole, I don't know, 20-gallon bucket. And he was taking cups of Slurpee and pouring it in the bucket. And the guy who worked, and the guy was like, "You can't, sir, stop, you can't do that." He's like, "Listen, I'm going to pay for it." And he would take a cup. He's like, "That's 5 cups
Oh my God.
of Slurpee." He was filling a whole Home Depot thing of Slurpee. It was awesome.
Kind of reminds me of you with salsa. When we go to a Mexican place, they give you the little tiny ones for salsa, and Ethan's like, no, I need a whole cup.
That is true. I sometimes get a water cup.
And then you like fill them up.
Yeah, that's disgusting. I don't like being compared to you. Why would you do that to me? But I do that. I do fill up water cups of salsa.
It's funny.
I didn't find the original video. I found the aftermath. He's in his car with the bucket completely full of Slurpee.
Yeah, I
I
saw
wonder
that,
why
but
was it removed?
Yeah, that's a good question.
probably because he was. I don't know. It was. There was confrontation. I mean, there
Yeah,
could have been
it
law
was-
enforcement
it was
involved. I mean,
heated.
Slurpee theft is not taken lightly in this country.
Right.
All right. Well, AB, how are you feeling? I mean, it. Took a lot of heat yesterday.
Horrible.
You feel horrible? In short.
In short, I feel horrible. Yeah. I put together something I want to say. I don't know if I should say it now or.
You expected heat going into yesterday. I mean, we all kind of warned you, but obviously this was beyond what you expected.
Right. And I guess I deserve it because the way I phrased it was very stupid. I was very arrogant in how I phrased it. I wasn't prepared to speak the way I wanted. And yeah.
Now I'm getting a little worried already for you because you say it's the way you phrased it. Because I'm not sure it's the way you phrased it. I
Okay,
think it's
maybe I
just what you said.
Right. What I said. Well, then maybe
Yeah.
I should read what I wanted to say.
Uh-oh, Trisha's here. Did you expect Trisha to make a whole video dedicated to you and like TikToks dedicated to you? I mean, that's pretty high level beef.
Right.
I mean, I knew she'd be upset, and it was stupid of me to think that I could defend David without offending her.
Oh, you actually thought you wouldn't offend her? Damn, bro.
No, I mean, I figured she'd get mad, but
All right, well, let's break it down because I feel like
Something is
I
about.
feel like we should figure this out. Yeah, something is about to bust. So AB has prepared a statement. Okay. Uh-oh.
I love that.
Can you turn AB up a little bit? I don't want to miss anything here. Okay, AB. So go ahead with your statement. I may stop you at some point to discuss certain issues. We could take it from there.
all right, bear with me. Because I'm being sincere with this. I want to start by saying that I was completely wrong for the statements I made. I believe that my intentions were pure and rooted in doing the right thing, but I'm sure the majority of people have done something wrong believe that. I'm sorry to everyone who is offended. Sincerely, I can't tell you guys how much it hurts knowing I let so many people down. I never meant to victim shame, but unfortunately I realize now that my arrogant actions came off that way. I was trying to play devil's advocate because I thought it was the right thing to do, but unfortunately I didn't realize how deep the conversation would go, and I was not educated on the severity of what I was speaking on. I was raised by 2 lawyers, and maybe that's why I felt the need to take the stance of innocent until proven guilty. I'm now trying to...
Whoa. So again, so maybe I should...
No, I'm
Go
saying
ahead,
that's
go ahead. I'm not going to interrupt you. Go
Which
ahead.
my next statement said, my next sentence says, which was completely wrong. I'm not defending my actions. I'm just trying to understand them for my own sake. I have no right to speculate whether someone is telling the truth or not. It was extremely arrogant of me to insinuate that someone speaking out is doing it for malicious reasons. I didn't completely believe certain individuals based on their past actions. I now realize that this is the typical behavior of someone who is victim shaming. This is the behavior of someone who is ruthless, insensitive, and just flat out evil. These are all the terms that
But you're not
I never
evil.
thought. Well, I don't disagree with people who may see me that way because of what I said. I am so grateful for all the beautiful people who kindly explained to me what was wrong with what I said. The only positive aspect of my bad take is the fact that I'm glad that it brought to my attention my own flaws, and hopefully it could help others be more cautious when talking about such a sensitive topic. The amount of nasty comments and hate I've been getting across all my social media is insane. I've been told multiple times to kill myself and that I should be fired. I may deserve the backlash, but deserve it or not, I'm still human and it hurts. Yesterday, I did something that I've never done before, which was call my mom just to hear her voice because of how sad I felt. I'm not trying to make myself a victim, but rather explain how I feel. In closing, I just want to apologize to Trisha and Nick and Seth and anyone else I offended. Trisha is right. I was not there. I was basing my opinion on others in the group who still continue to support David after years of working with him. I realize now that this is stupid of me because, again, I wasn't there. I now know that if someone is going to defend the other side, it should be someone that was there, not me. I'm sorry, Trisha, if I reopened any past trauma. You have been nothing but kind and welcoming to me personally. I was stupid to think I could defend David without offending you. Trisha, I fully support you, and I'm sorry for being insensitive. I know it may take time, but I will do everything in my power to show you that I will want nothing but good for you. I'm sorry I let run down. I will do better. Excuse my shaky voice, but I'm being sincere. That's all.
Wow. Wish we had the apology podium out. That was worthy of the Worthy of the great apologies of this in the show's history. Okay. You got some death threats. I know I saw your Instagram went private.
Yeah, I did. I felt bad. I felt bad, like Lena seeing it too. Like, yeah, a little rough. I mean, usually I consider myself to be a strong person, but when it's the fact, like, last night I heard, I don't know if this is too personal. I heard Lena in the bathroom, like she was trying to hide from me, but she was tearing up, and that's kind of what broke me.
Oh,
I kind of felt.
Lena was upset.
It's really hard. I know what
Aw,
it's like. I
that's
mean,
sad.
whenever Ethan would go through something, it would be really hard on me too. Which is why I always panic when I see him tweet, because I'm like, what are you tweeting? Are you ruining my life right now?
Those are past days, I hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's always a little bit of PTSD.
Wait. Why was Lena upset, AB? Like, what was upsetting her?
Probably
I mean,
to see
I tried.
this.
Yeah, I tried not to show her that I was bothered. But she was just frustrated, I think, because she's like, it's everything you're not. It's everything you stand against, and it's just.
Oh, yeah. No, poor Lena. She's an angel. She is an angel.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it, okay? So, you've reconsidered your position of some of the stuff you said yesterday. Do you understand why people are upset, right?
100%. Yeah.
I have some points here. So, like, a lot of people were curious, like, why are you so quick to defend David against the first-hand account of, like, Nick and Trisha and Seth on video? It's odd that you would accuse 3 different people of lying,
Right.
and for lack of a better word, and, to favor David.
Well, like I said, in my mind, I was thinking that I'm trying to give another perspective. And I wasn't even saying that I stand behind all those things. Maybe I should have phrased it as, well, someone would argue this. But again, I didn't say that Trisha and Nick were lying. I did make the mistake of saying Seth was lying, but I wasn't talking about him coming out. Or it was more about, I thought of it as me as looking at a fake prank. I thought I was saying that, I looked at it as saying the prank was fake, but I know now that was stupid of me.
But so even though you don't outright say someone's lying, that's the implication, right?
Right,
Because you're
100%.
saying, that they're not being truthful about their account. You're doubting their account, right? I think people are upset because a lot of what you're doing is kind of what, victim shaming is. So
Also, another point about it is that people who do on the side of victim shaming, a lot of times the argument would be like, they're lying, they're just doing it for clout or whatever. But that is so wrong, because to come out is like, as the victim, and to complain is like the worst thing you want to do. You get hate as the victim because whoever you're going out against has their own fans and they don't want to hear it. And so it just brings up a lot of, for anyone who's been through it, there's just so many misconceptions about it. No one would do it for the clout. Like, that's not a fun thing to go through. It's not like, ooh, okay, I'm going to gain some followers, and you're going through awful stuff when you do that.
And the thing is, for each one of you, there's like tons of people who don't believe them, right? Like more people that don't believe them than believe them. And so...
And how many fake victims are there who really fake abuse and just kind of like made up the whole story?
Very
Not a
small,
lot.
very, very small
Not
percent.
a lot.
I read a stat. I don't know how they calculate it, but it's like 3%. It's like a very, very small percent of people that are not truthful about it. Which is not to say it doesn't happen, but
It happens, but the vast
in this
majority.
case, you have 3 people's accounts.
I'm not saying to like blindly believe anyone, but if anything, it's more logical to believe them than to not believe them.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you just follow, statistically.
It's not something, it's too serious to play the fence on. You can't just be,
exactly.
in saying, and I realize that now. And people, I really am grateful for the people who were nice in explaining it to me as to why it was offensive. And
There was
they're
also
100%
There was another thing you said about like they never said no. They didn't. They never. They were there. It was all part. It was all like a sitcom. the problem with victims of abuse is that they usually hold a lot of guilt because they feel like it's their fault. Because it's so hard to say no or to pull yourself out of a situation or to know even that you're being abused until you're separated from the situation. So this is another like victim shaming tactic, is to be like they were there, they didn't leave the situation, they never said no. That's like a huge misunderstanding about abuse, is that it usually happens in situations where it's like, why didn't they just leave? People say that about like wives who are in this abusive situations. Why didn't they just leave? Because it's not that easy. It's complicated. There's lots of emotions involved. So that's a really, hurtful point to make when you say, they were all just kidding. Like, why were they in the vlogs? Why did they say it? You understand that point?
Yeah. No, I didn't say that they didn't say no, but I definitely insinuated it, which is just
well, then you did say
bad.
it. You did say it. That's what you meant.
Right.
So I wouldn't say you didn't say it. I mean, that's what you meant.
Fuck you, AB.
Right.
Easy, Trisha.
Zach is loving it. Zach, are you loving this? As AB's friend?
I know. As AB's friend, I feel really awful. Because everyone makes mistakes and whatever. I mean,
But did you get a lot of pleasure in hitting that button just now?
Oh, tremendous.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Zach texted me, "Who's the heartthrob now, bitch?"
That's funny.
No, but as a joke, Zach called me about probably 20 times in the past 24 hours.
Aw,
Checking him.
Zach, such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
He was
Really
having,
is.
because I've somewhat been through this, not to this extent. But
On the show
Right.
cancellation, you got canceled for being
Just
creepy.
for being
right?
kind of creepy.
yeah, and like just the amount of shit people say to you is really awful. Like just
It's so hard. It really is. You don't expect it to feel that bad, but it's like we all just want to be accepted by everyone. And when you go,
Right.
everywhere you go, there's comments following you of people who think you're the worst person on earth.
But it passes.
It's
I wanted
really
to let
hard.
AB know that it does pass. People, you know what I mean? Like, you'll be fine in a few days.
I understand that it passes, but I just
It feels bad in the moment, though.
the topic itself is just it just hurts because of my background and stuff I fought for and believe in. It's just it's exactly against what I've always stood for. I have a deep background in civil rights and I've spoken out against this before, but I guess I wasn't educated enough. So I guess these conversations are good.
Let's make sure that we're on the same page. That's what I want to do. So, I would be careful of playing on that guilt because, like I said, the victims often feel like it's their fault and they feel tremendously guilty for that. So there's another thing about you said, like, it was like a sitcom and everything was a joke. Trisha had a lot to say about that, obviously. I wonder if we should watch her video because she makes some really good points in hers in the first few minutes.
You need the link?
Yeah, and like when you brought up a few points, I have it here. Like when you brought up like, oh, Big Nick's mom was there, and I was like, and when you brought that up, I was like, I just didn't understand like what was the logic, when you say, oh, Big Nick's mom was in on the jokes, but she really wasn't though when I watched it, and like how does that justify it? You know what I mean? Like I'm just curious.
Again, that was just my fault on being ill prepared. I mean, I had when we talked about bringing it up on the show, I said, if you guys think, I'll do it. And when I did I had like 2 pages worth of stuff, and that was and we were talking loosely Friday, like, I think someone said something like, how would his family feel? And I go, yeah, no, I agree. I go, his mom was there too, and I wasn't saying that means it's okay. I'm saying that possibly other people are complicit as well. So, yeah, we watched that point, but we avoided a lot of the other stuff that was in there. So it kind of just made it seem just like a stupid, pointless point.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree. It doesn't say anything.
Okay. Let's watch Trisha's thing. Get ready, buckle up, boys. She's talking fast. I knew she was pissed, by the way, when she was talking like that was like the fastest I've heard her ever talk. Actually, I want to say before I watch this that I was very proud of Trisha because as far as her responses go, this was probably like her most calm and rational and reasoned response to something like this. So I was very proud of Trisha.
Except for maybe wanting to like kill AB.
Right. Well, there's always a little bit of,
Yeah,
homicidal
but-
ideation. I mean, you can't take Trisha without homicidal ideation. Dude, 450,000 views, AB.
I feel it. I feel
That's
it.
crazy, bro. That's like a fucking...
And like, at least to my knowledge, I've never known of like two audiences from two large channels like coming down on
Converging.
nobody. Yeah, but I mean, maybe I deserve it. But
Okay, so this is my
Good.
I couldn't help but note that this video is 21 minutes long.
Yeah.
And Trisha's initial angry rant after the Instagram versus reality video about Ethan was only 18. So you actually beat
Damn.
Ethan's
3
high
minutes
score
more.
here. Yeah.
Well, I mean, AB, look, me and Trisha are friends now to this day. Look how far we've come. So, maybe
Yeah.
Right.
friendship is in your future. I mean, I
I hope
called
so.
her I told her she looked like a open casket funeral.
I hope so. I like Trisha. I really do. I'm not just saying
I
that.
fucking hate this guy so much.
She doesn't feel the same.
I mean, I feel like, if I can say, I think that it probably really just came from a place of lack of knowledge on this topic. And hopefully this really is just a moment you learn from it and,
We're all learning.
Yeah.
We're all learning about this is a good experience. We're all learning together. And something I want to point out before we continue is that look at her hands. Her hands are soaked in toner. She's in blackhand. She's done this before. No. It's unacceptable.
is that from the tanning?
Knowledge.
I have to imagine it's from tan. Is she just like applying tanning cream to her body or something? Like, how does that happen?
It's the iodine and tanning lotion. It stains.
Why is she?
So you're more
Well-
knowledgeable on tanning issues than...
But why did the tanning
Because,
stick so
the-
much
the-
to her? Yeah, exactly. Why do you know exactly the point, Ela?
Because my pre-med background, I know about iodine staining. And I know iodine's prevalent in.
AB, why does it stick to the hands? Because the rest of her body doesn't look that tan. So why her hands absorb the iodine? If you're so
Because it's-
smart.
It's blended in better to the rest of her body. Rather than just her
Right.
hands, because she's washing her hands and it's coming
Lady.
off. But real quick, just what Ela said, I agree 100%. Yeah, I mean, I'm grateful that I'm educated on it now. Like the worst thing, I feel like it's me talking on that and hurting so many people not knowing. I'm glad I know.
Yeah,
It
because
sucks
I
that
believe you that your intentions are good.
Yes.
And you definitely wouldn't want to be the one that's on the wrong side. And by
Yes.
saying something like that has the undertone of the wrong message, you're going to be with the wrong side of the argument,
Right.
Like knowingly or not knowingly, what you may say is in these words or in other words saying the wrong argument. And
Right.
Which I don't think you want to be on. So
Yeah.
Yeah, worth saying for sure. Okay, Trisha, spill it.
Reply to the dumbass AB from the H3 podcast called David Dobrik Debate. Now he's a complete ass, like he's a complete dumbass. Like it's not even an asshole. He's a complete dumbass because he's actually sweet in person. He's just an idiot. He
Oh,
does
well,
nothing
that's
but
kind of a
harm.
compliment, AB. She said you're not an asshole. You're just a dumbass. You're a sweet person. You just don't know anything. Thoughts?
I agree.
That's good.
I mean,
well, let's
that's
close
not
the
that
video. Why do we need to watch any more than that?
So I'm only 10 minutes
That's what
before
I'm
it-
saying. Like, this is a really good response for her. She comes out saying
but I
he's a
think
nice person.
she
gets
gradually
brutal,
gets
yeah.
more.
Yeah.
She says she
talks
wants to
about-
kill him. She wants to fire him. If she sees you ever at my house, she'll quit the show.
She hates my smile. For some
She
reason,
hates your smile.
I get that a lot. Like on the quartering video, they're like, one of the top comments is like, God damn, I hate AB's condescending smile.
Oh, really?
I,
I never
know,
thought
I
about
smile
it.
because I smile because I get nervous, but yeah, I don't know. Something about my smile really pisses people off.
I cannot. His smirk.
Oh, God. I didn't even think about it. But
I didn't think about
brutal.
that.
41 seconds into it, and actually there's like only like 2 minutes so far he's talking about me, and already he's like, this is like a sitcom. No, dumbass.
2
no
minutes in.
dipshit. This was my real freaking life. So let's
Say what?
I was just noting that she just said she's only 2 minutes into the video.
Oh, yeah. I do think it's worth noting that she stopped and started recording 2 minutes into the video.
and already he's like,
Thank
this
you,
is like
Dan.
a sitcom. No, dumbass. No dipshit. This was my real freaking life. So let's bring up the stuff he says. We're going a little hard on Jason. Jason, you know, he has kids to feed and all that stuff like that. Let's remind
Okay, so wait. Her sitcom point is good because you kept bringing that up. That like it's a sitcom, it's all exaggerated, and I think Trisha rightly counters that by saying it's not a sitcom. This is my real life, and I think
Right.
that's true. That's kind of what everybody says. Is that like it's?
feel
I
like
think
the-
David wants people to believe it's a sitcom, but it's not really a sitcom.
I think if there were any lines, they got really blurry, and maybe
For sure.
maybe some stuff started out as like, oh, we're just kind of exaggerating for the fun, but like in a situation like Trisha, it seems like everything got way too blurry, and obviously,
For everybody,
she ended up in a hospital. You know,
right? She
in
ended
a
up
breakdown.
That was a really good point. She said, she's like, it's not a sitcom. I ended up in the hospital. That was real.
Yeah.
So, right.
No, the sick. I agree 100%, and I was wrong. Like I said, the point I was trying to make, and I'm wrong, was that I was trying, I was just trying to build an opposing view, and what I was saying was that some of the stuff they say and some of the characters they play is like a sitcom, like, and it's self-aware, and again, I'm just saying what I was trying to point out the other day, like people have characters, and like Dom, for example, Dom is supposed to be like a weed dealer, and he's supposed to be crazy or whatever. But then on his normal channel, he's like, "Oh, this is,
Maybe
I
some
just-
people play characters. I don't know, but like it's definitely Trisha's not playing. I mean,
No, it doesn't dismiss what Trisha said. She's 100% right. She's 100% right.
I think the
I was-
same is true for Big Nick and Seth, who we'll talk to later.
Right.
Is that
I was
And you know, one of the comments made a really good point because you were saying of Seth that, you were saying of Seth that you think he was in on it the whole time, and one of the comments was like, the whole point of the joke is that he's getting this against his consent. Like that's the whole joke, right? Is they're tricking him.
right, which is horrible. Yeah, it's a bad joke. It's a fake or not.
But
It's a bad.
But
something
he
to put
said,
out
but that's the problem. He says it is. He got. Seth
Right.
says that they did that to him without his consent.
Yeah, and it's not my place to say that he's not telling the truth.
No.
Right.
Right.
I was. There was other situations that I believe you're the one that explained this to me, and I was saying like the reason why I felt so confident saying that is stuff that he's been a part of in his past, and you said what you're doing is you're going after his character, which is character assassination, which is typical of a abuser. And,
Yeah.
and I go, you're right. I never
Not
thought
an
about
abuser, but a victim. You're ignoring
victim.
the victim.
Right.
Yeah. Like he might.
And again-
I'm not saying he is, but he might be a horrible fucking dude. But it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that
Right.
David did that to him, right? It doesn't change the fact that
Yeah.
Jason hid in a costume and made out with him.
Yeah, and I was stupid. Like I was handling it too lightly because again, I was not looking at it like I was looking at it like a fake prank. And my stupid points I was thinking was this, the height difference or whatever it was. It was stupid.
But
I wasn't.
that stuff doesn't mean anything because you're not like for all I know, it's like you're like, how do you not know that? That's fair to think, but like when you're in the moment, you just don't know how things play out. Like how many times have you been in your life where people assume one thing, but what actually happened was something totally different? I mean, it happens all the time because you just don't know all the moving parts. So to sit there and be like, oh, he's this Jason is 6'2", and Corinna is like 5'5". I mean, obviously it's fake. You cannot make that assumption just because.
Yeah, and I realize now for two reasons. One, because it's just far too serious of a topic to speculate on, and then the other is like you're setting an example for others who want to come out. Like if you're blaming someone for something or saying it's not true, you're setting an example, a bad example for others. And I realize that.
fuck Fuck you, AB.
After getting my ass handed to me, I realized.
I think it's hilarious. Unfortunately, it helps, you know. Like if Trisha was here, what would she say right now to AB?
I fucking hate this guy so much.
Yeah, probably something like that. It's not that you can't speculate. It's just that he said this is what happened. So why are you like? There's no reason for you to go out of your way to call him a liar. You know what I mean? It's like he came out and said they did this to me. So that's the part that I think.
100%. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right, Trish, go off, Queen.
And everybody, once again, the main issue that I struggled with during our thing is him defending his best friend, Brandon Calvillo, who is 20 years younger than him, his best friend, who was dating a minor that they thought was completely okay. And I was exiled from the group because...
I actually don't know what she's talking about here. Maybe I missed something, some chapter of the whole Vlog Squad thing.
David both made jokes with this girl who was a minor, asking sex about Brandon and saying it's completely okay. And not only do they stand by him, they do have him in vlogs and stuff like that. AB is such an idiot. Then he goes on to say, well, Trisha also made jokes about wanting to, like, being obsessed with David and stuff like that. One, yes, they were jokes. Two, no one ever said that they were uncomfortable with it.
Oh, by the way, this point you made, I thought was, I didn't get it either. It's like just because Trisha made jokes about being attracted to David doesn't mean that Jason wasn't actually trying to hook up with Tana. Like I just was a weird way of excusing Jason's behavior.
I think almost every point I made that was the flaw in it is because when I'm trying to present another side, even if I don't believe it, I'm just trying to give another side. At the same time, I'm invalidating Trisha, and that was the problem. I realize that now, and yeah.
Well. What, Dan?
We're at breakdown.
It's a break already?
Yeah, we've been doing this for...
Already?
Yep.
I think it's not... But there's no logical connection. I feel like there's no logical connection to saying Trisha joked about wanting to have sex with David. That has nothing to do with the fact that Jason was trying to hook up with Tana and David was pushing them to do it. Do you see my point? They have nothing to do with each other.
Right.
You're trying to draw a bridge, right, to like kind of like to make this parallel. Like, do you know what I mean, Hila?
It's just besides the point.
Yeah, it's beside the point. It has nothing to do with the fact of the matter. It's like,
right, and that's where again, it's like you said, it was a character assassination.
Yeah, exactly.
Like initially, yeah.
Excuse me. All right. Let's go. Alfredo's looking at me like, what the fuck?
And also, it's coming up on 1, so I should do the...
One and the ad? What is happening? All right, Trisha, you want to do the ad?
Trisha?
She'll be like, fuck you, AB. Brought to you by Keeps. Fuck you, AB. All right, got to do an ad read. Brought to you by... Yeah. Thank you to Keeps. We love Keeps. It helps keep your damn hair. 2 out of 3 men will experience some form of hair loss by the time they are 35. That's exactly my age. Uh-oh. More than 50 million men in the U.S. suffer from male pattern baldness. There are only 2 FDA-approved medicines that can prevent hair loss. Keeps offers both. Keeps offers a simple, stress-free way to keep your hair. Hey, what happened to my music? I was vibing on that.
It was a little weird.
Zach froze.
Okay, he's back.
He's back.
The internet research didn't go through that well, eh, Zach?
It did, but all fine.
Probably takes time.
We got to run a cable to your house and shit.
Be patient.
Dan, what's going on with the internet at our office? With the like
Can we
super
talk about it
internet?
after the ad read?
I think. Well, is it going? Is there progress?
Yes.
Okay, good. Anyway, Dan goes, Luke, can we talk about it after the ad read?
Right.
And Hila, what do you want for dinner? I'm just kidding. We're in the middle of our ad read, Ethan. Keeps offers a simple, stress-free way to keep your hair. Convenient virtual doctor consultations and medicine delivered straight to your door every 3 months. You don't even have to leave your home. I love every opportunity to not leave my home. I'm stocked up on products to prevent me from leaving my home. During the apocalypse, make sure you're stocked up with Keeps so you never have to leave your home, but you can keep your hair. Even though everyone's dead, you still want your hair to look bomb. If you're in an apocalypse and you're in your apocalypse bunker, get Keeps delivered to your apocalypse bunker. Even though everybody's dead, your hair will still look bomb.
Yeah. That's all.
That's important. Because it's about confidence as much as anything else.
Yeah.
Thank you. Low cost. Treatments start at just $10 per month, and Keep offers generic versions. Discreet packaging and proven results. Keeps has 5-star reviews, more than any of its competitors. Prevention is key, you guys. You got to keep the hair on your head. That's why it's called Keeps before it falls out. Treatments can take 4 to 6 months to see results, so act right freaking now. AB started Keeps because the hair was falling out of his head. And your hair looks pretty thick and full. What do you think, AB?
After one day.
You need to keep up with the Keeps.
Keep up with the Keeps. Come on. Oh, you're kidding. I take Keeps every day, and look at me. Beautiful. No, I don't. I don't take Keeps. I mean, obviously, I don't need it, but a lot of dudes would benefit. I just don't need it. I mean, what can I do? They say you use Keeps. I don't use it. I don't need it. Why would I say I need Keeps? I clearly have a lot of hair on my head. You know what I mean?
All right, Ethan.
I'm not bragging. I'm just saying it's just a matter of fact. Not trying to brag. I don't care. Hila goes, Ethan's hair is his favorite quality.
Because every read you got to go on about how you have...
Well, because they tell me to say that I take Keeps, but I don't. Why would I take Keeps? Dan, will you take Keeps? Why? Dan says he will not take
Make good
Keeps.
incoming.
What, Dan?
Got to make good on this ad read incoming. For sure.
Why? I'm doing a good read. If you're ready to take action, guys, please use this link so that I don't have to do another make good on this. If you're ready to take action to prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/afterdark to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's keeps.com/afterdark to get your first month free. Keeps.com/afterdark. Dan, if you would have just said you would use it, maybe we wouldn't have to do a make good. You don't want to take. You don't want to.
We discussed it before the show.
You don't have hair, but like you're going.
Yeah, and that's exactly.
Take your beanie off. Show them your head.
Leave him alone. Leave Brittany alone.
All right. Just feel like I'm out here on my own doing Keeps reads. Anybody? Zach? You're not going to lose your hair, are you?
No.
You have good hair.
I don't think so.
You have good genes.
I got good genes.
I'm done. Stop the music. All right. Keeps, everybody.
My God.
Thank you to Keeps. So anyway, where were we? Yes, Trisha ripping AB a new one.
Well, Seth should be calling in any moment now.
Oh, great. This is a perfect... This is a perfect... Is he in the lobby?
Yes, he is.
Okay, let's bring Seth
Give me 1 second to set it up.
Now, AB, I'm going to mute your mic during this segment.
That's fine.
Seth. I'm just kidding, AB, but for real. Please don't say anything, AB.
No.
Appreciate you, though. Yeah. Seth.
Hey, can
Hi.
you hear us?
Seth.
Don't think we can hear him.
Seth. Here.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear us? See us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Nice. How are
Yeah.
you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Very good. Thank you
Good.
for calling in. I'm glad to see and hear from you.
Absolutely. It's good to be on the show.
Yes, this is like the, you know that documentary Going Clear about Scientology?
Yeah.
So our show turned into the Going Clear Vlog Squad. Can you turn them up a bit, Dan? Okay. Seth, is it possible to turn your mic up a little bit?
I'm not sure exactly how to do that.
Are you just on a laptop?
Yeah, I'm on laptop.
Can you pull it just a little closer to you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this better?
Yeah, that's better. Thank you.
Okay.
So, Seth, Seth used to be on, I don't know if you did a lot of videos with David, and you reached out to me via Big Nick, because after Big Nick came on, I know you have a lot of history with the Vlog Squad as well, and you wanted to share your story. So let me just ask you first, Seth, what was your experience like with the vlog? Well, maybe I'll ask you first, why did you reach out wanting to share your story?
Well, because I just feel like my story also ties into a lot of other people's experiences as well. And, I've already addressed a lot of things online on my own platform. And, my goal is just to kind of get the message out as much as I can and, communicate with as much people as I possibly can to educate, an audience that, may be uneducated about certain things that are happening within the social media space.
I feel that. It's very quiet. Hold on. Dan, is there no way to boost him?
I'm literally maxed on everything. I have no more.
Oh, Love says it's fine.
It's fine on the stream.
Really? How could that be?
Well, that's okay if it's just us.
Is everyone on stream hearing this okay?
Zach?
Is anybody...
Yeah, it sounds fine on stream.
Okay.
See how loud he was comparatively? I have
Yeah.
cranked.
Okay.
Go ahead. Okay. So, okay, cool. They say it's fine on stream. I don't know how that's possible, but there it is.
Yeah.
So I know there's a few situations that I want to ask you specifically about.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you want to first tell me about your experience on the Vlog Squad generally.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my experience,
That's
the
much
first...
That's better.
The first thing, like I really want people to understand is, like, I feel like the videos that I put out got very misinterpreted by a lot of people. People kind of see me as, like, attacking David or attacking Jason or attacking, individuals in the Vlog Squad. But what it really was about was me taking credit for the actions that I was also participating in within those videos. So I wanted to come out and say something to clear my own conscience from the things that I was doing and I was allowing to happen within David's content. But then it also brings up another conversation. This is also David's content, and he's the one that's coming up with the ideas, and he's the one that has the power and is asking people to participate in certain things. And there is a lot of pressure, when you're in the room and you're the only person of your skin color or your culture, and you're trying to represent in the right way, and you're constantly being pressured to do things that you might know are wrong and you are uncomfortable with. But, when I first got into the group, I was like 22 years old. I just moved to LA. I was just looking for a cool group of friends that I could kind of work with and collaborate with, that I can also be friends and also, have some sort of other interesting activities going on with. And, that group, they were cool people when I met, and I liked what they were doing. And, I just started integrating myself. And then as I started integrating myself, I started being asked over and over again to kind of participate in bits that, can kind of come off being very culturally insensitive. And, I wanted to, apologize mainly to my own community, but also my family and my friends that are the same ethnicity that know,
You're talking specifically about like racial stereotype jokes. For example, I remember there was a scene where you were at the friend's house and then they open a fridge and a bunch of watermelons fall out or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
and a lot of kids don't understand, because these things, they seem like, watermelon is just, it's watermelon. Like, a lot of people like watermelon. I also particularly enjoy eating watermelon, but there is racially charged ideals that are behind, trying to spin in a comedic way.
It's obvious they're making a racial joke.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of kids that are like 13, 14 years old that might be watching that might not really understand, and then they think like, oh, okay, well, when I'm David Dobrik, he does blackface and watermelon tropes and all these other things. Oh, I can do that with my black friend, and then I'm making some black kid in Cincinnati uncomfortable with his group of Caucasian friends because of the videos that I'm participating in.
Do you feel like he was pressuring you to kind of make these black jokes when you were around him? Was that because Nick, for example, said I was always under the pressure to be making like little person jokes, and the minute I said I wasn't comfortable with that anymore, then I was kind of he didn't need me anymore. Did you feel that same kind of pressure?
Yeah, that is the pressure. It's not like, you know, David's sitting there and honestly in this podcast, I want to be completely transparent and honest with everything that has happened in all these situations. You know, it's not like David is sitting there like, oh, you have to do this. You don't do this, you're out the group, you know?
Yeah, of course.
It's kind of like an unwritten thing where you see a pattern of people saying like, yo, I'm uncomfortable with this. Hey, bro, like this isn't really cool. That all of a sudden they just disappear and then they're not videos anymore.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. There's a lot. It's weird. It's almost there's a pattern where it's like he exploiting people's vulnerabilities to make a joke out of it, and then you know once they start feeling uncomfortable with it because you know it is naturally exploitative. Like once they feel uncomfortable with it, then he just discards them. Just I don't know. Doesn't sit right with me.
And I can see like the pressure being so difficult because you're young, you want to make it, and they seem like the coolest kids in town, you know. It's it's happening and it looks fun and they're popular, so you want to be a part of it.
Of course, yeah.
Like
it's exciting.
Sorry for cutting you off, but like people don't understand how this all started. You know, it's not like we were this huge social media group, you know, from the jump and everyone knew that these videos were going to blow up and get millions of views. We were literally just at the beginning, you had to just be someone that was just around, hanging around, you know, as a friend to kind of be involved in this circle. And then it just ends up taking off. And then all this notoriety is gained. And then, you know, there's repercussions and also, you know, collateral damage that happens. And, you know, when that happens, you know, you kind of have to go to the source of the problem and address it.
What do you say to people who say, oh, it's a sitcom, it's all just goofs and stuff, you know?
Well, the thing is, it's like something like blackface, right? Like blackface was created in a comedic sense. That was the point of them trying to mock black people, make fun of black people.
Wait, hold on one sec. Sorry, the audio just went crazy.
That's being bizarre.
Okay. The audio is great now, but you were like blasting out of the speaker. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
I wasn't yelling.
It's on our end.
But yeah, it's like stuff like blackface. You know, it was created, you know, in for comedy to mock black people in a comedic sense. So it's supposed to be used in these sitcoms, comedy shows, and things of that sort to kind of, you know, undermine African American people and to mock them, you know, and for a lot of black people that see blackface, it is like traumatizing because, you know, our grandparents, you know, this is something that isn't very long ago, you know, had to go through it. And they describe, you know, if you come from an African American household, they describe how, traumatizing seeing those images could be. And then I'm in the videos participating in these images.
Yeah.
Part of it, you know?
Yeah.
And is there, like, do you have this bitterness kind of towards those guys with time passed? Like, when you think about not only, like, what they put you through and how they kind of exploited you and kind of turned you into the butt of a lot of racist jokes, but more about, like, you were in these videos with, like, millions and millions of views. Like, the prank videos he did have so many views, and then, like, you see David is building so much and gaining so much from these videos, and like I don't know what your situation is, but you probably, I don't know how much you feel like you gained from those videos.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the first thing I said, like, you know, like it's not like the whole entire experience with being in this group is just like a nightmare every single day. You know, some days you know, you come in and things are cool and it's just something simple like, hey, I'm gonna, you know, have you guys, you know, do something fun for a video and then we're going to film it. And then other days it does get a little bit darker. And, you know, to answer your question about like being bitter, you know, like I personally, you know, have like healed myself from the situation and have, you know, kind of came to terms with everything that has happened. I'm always happy for other people's success. I think David, is genuinely at his core, a good person. And that's kind of why, his videos have gotten so big. But just because you're a good person doesn't mean you don't ever do anything wrong. And that's kind of the point that everyone's kind of bringing up. Like, there is collateral damage from the situation. And this guy isn't, the worst guy to ever exist. Honestly, my situation very light compared to some of the racism that, these different actors had to go through just to get on camera, So, to just completely answer the question, like, no, I'm not bitter about anything. I'm happy that, they're successful at a point in time as a friend, because we're dealing with each other on a personal level. It does get pretty frustrating, and sometimes it's hard to hide the frustration when you're behind the scenes trying to communicate with someone and say, hey, we need to sit down and have a conversation. Hey, can we talk? Hey, can we do this? And then you look on the internet, and then there's like a video with some other African-American person being utilized to basically validate that, oh, we never did anything wrong. See, we support African-American culture because we have another African-American person on, our videos as well, And you notice, like, after, the Black Lives Matter movement kind of dies out, it's like people stop posting, people stop collaborating with African-American influencers. People don't build any actual institutions or actually build up other African-American creators to put them in positions where they can actually be empowered and make choices for themselves. I feel like African-American people, like we get this stereotype of like looking for handouts, and we're not looking for handouts. We're looking to be in actual positions of power so we can make our own decisions.
Yeah, are you saying that David got some kind of like token black person after you left? I didn't follow, so I wasn't sure exactly what you were talking about.
I was talking about like the, like with during the Black Lives Matter movement, how Jason gets like, I forgot the other dude's name, but like King Batch and this other dude who's a YouTuber, in this YouTube video, and it's like, oh, it's time to make a change, they're my two black friends, and I could even see some of the uncomfortability on King Batch's face when they start talking about.
And you're like, well, where were they when they actually had the opportunity to not stereotype me and just use me for my blackness?
Yeah, and where's the conversation even behind the scenes?
Right.
Man, like, we kind of did this. We know this is wrong. Like, we just, want to apologize for, putting you in this position, X, Y, and Z.
So that never happened? There was never a conversation like that afterwards?
No. Never a text, call, email, an assistant reaching out, like nothing. So it kind of showed me, like, because originally, like I say in the first video that I made, the accountability video, that I'm not calling anyone, these are people I'm considering my friends, so like I'm not going on here like saying like, oh yeah, these guys are just racist. I have like all these like racist friends. I'm just saying that, these people may not understand certain aspects about other cultures.
Well, that's really interesting, because Trisha said the same exact thing, like when it went sideways, when she checked into the mental hospital, then all of a sudden it was like nobody talked to her anymore. Yeah. So how did you leave the group? How did you come to leave the group? And then when did you like stop hearing from David?
Well, it kind of started, and this was for multiple reasons. Some of them being personal, but also a large chunk of it being related to, being in the Vlog Squad and being in David's content. But I decided to kind of move out the state and move to Atlanta, because when I was in LA, after kind of dealing with that video with Jason, like the makeout video, it's like now millions of billions of people kind of are misconstruing like my own sexuality and how I feel about participating in something that, he didn't have my consent for. So I end up moving to a different state to kind of get away from it. So it's not like people coming up to me left and right, bringing up a situation that is legitimately traumatizing.
Wow. So wow, it was that hurtful to you, that whole thing, that you moved out of LA?
Yeah.
Out of California.
He moved to Atlanta, yeah. Wow, I didn't realize that.
Wild.
So okay, that's a good segue, because I wanted to ask you about the kissing videos. So, first of all, like that kissing video, the first one,
Yeah.
That always struck me as so mean-spirited and messed up. So
Yeah.
tell me about, first of all, that experience for you, how it played out and how you felt, and the reaction and everything. And what was it? What was the video?
Yeah, so it was a video where David set up with Jason Nash and Corinna, and said that I was supposed to do a makeout scene with Corinna, and had Jason was going to have Corinna in an old man mask while I was making out with her, and then switched her out with Jason Nash.
Right.
So my experience and my perspective from the situation, I was literally like just getting off a flight, just got into town. I was like super exhausted from traveling. I go over to David's apartment. Well, he calls me to come over. He's like, yo, can you come over? Like, I need you for a bit. And this is kind of like when I was, just starting to kind of hang out with them. So I'm just like, okay, David's like asking for something. It seems pretty serious. He must really need me there. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to, instead of just going home, getting some rest, I'm going to stop by his apartment, and then I'm going to go home. And I get into the room. David, he's a very convincing person. He was very calm, and everything seemed normal. And he was just like, yeah, like we just have this scene, like I want you to like make out with Corinna. And, like, are you cool with that? And I was just like, yeah, no, I'm fine with making out with Corinna. Like, that's fine. I don't understand exactly what this bit's for, but I'm just trying to basically just get it over with so I can, go home and get some rest. And then, during the video, we kind of start the makeout. Starts going, and then it's going on for a decent period of time. And then after, Jason pulls off his mask, and I realized that, I just was touched by someone that, I did not, consent to having their tongue. And I'm sorry, it is a little bit hard to kind of like talk about this, because like this situation, I know a lot of people, because also I'm a man coming out about something that's like a sexual battery, sexual assault type of situation. So it's kind of hard to believe, a person that is speaking about something like this. But basically, after he took off the mask, I was, it was a split decision. I was like, it's one or two things, like either be natural instincts and be the angry black guy in the room and start yelling at everyone and get physical or whatever that might entail, or I can kind of just, go along with it, and, maybe I'll have some new friends that, will support me in my ventures moving forward. And I made the decision to just kind of go along with it, not understanding what the repercussions would be, and also not understanding, how much, 10 million people are that's seeing something that I'm personally not comfortable with. And I say that not to say I'm not comfortable with like homosexuality. It's just, even if I was homosexual and then they switched out the costume for a girl, that would
you were
still
misled. Yeah, totally.
It's just not what you consented.
It's totally sexual battery. I agree with it. And by the way, the fact that you played along with it, I just want to tell you that in no way invalidates your feelings. You know what I mean? They put you into the spot. They surprised you. They did something really uncalled for. Uncalled for, to put it lightly. I mean, if that happened to me, I would be just. You were sexually assaulted by Jason. I really do think so. Yeah. And so the fact that you played along with it does not invalidate your feelings at all.
And it's really hard, and I really want the viewers to understand, it is so incredibly tough as a man to have to say that you were sexually assaulted by a man. The amount of trauma that you deal with, you don't even want to explain it to like your family and your friends and because even my own family was like looking at me like, oh yeah, you probably just said that was okay. Like there's no way someone
people don't believe you.
That's what's so frustrating about the way victims are treated. And sometimes it's even their own family members are not going to believe them. It's really difficult.
Especially men, I feel that. Well, you know what? I shouldn't say that, but like it's hard for men to get wrecked when this happens. It is. People tend to be even more distrustful of men. I know women get a lot of distrust these days when they come out, but like
Yeah, and it happens. Well, it
Yeah.
does. It happens completely on both sides. Like I don't
Yeah.
want to take.
Yeah, I don't want to take away, but I know what
Right.
you mean.
Harder, it's just the reality of the situation is like it does like affect your confidence as a man. You start kind of questioning yourself, and with trauma, people are wondering like, oh well, why are you kind of coming out 2-3 years later like communicating
It's
about
That's
totally
normal.
normal.
That's so normal, dude. It takes time to process.
Yeah, I shut down for 2 years, and like people would bring it up to me in public, and then I would just basically ignore it, like, oh well, at least like I have friends that are doing cool stuff, like that's probably why they're just trying to bring this up to try to like bring me down. But in reality, the situation was so traumatizing that I was just trying to act like it just didn't even exist.
Yeah. And that's very common, And by the way, the fact that it was viewed by 10 million people compounds, I'm sure that makes it a lot more difficult
Yeah, now
when the
it's
whole
not-
world saw it too,
Yeah, and it's like now it's not internal trauma. Now it's like the only way to kind
Right.
of combat this trauma is to be public about it and
Right.
to talk about it openly to everyone so that they understand, like, please, if you see me in public, please, if you're in my DMs, like, do not bring this up. Do not talk to me about it. Because I'm trying to get peace with myself about being involved in something like that. And sometimes you almost victim blame yourself. You're like, well, I shouldn't have been there, or well, I chose to have them as friends. But at what point is it where it's like, well, David Dobrik should not have chose to force a 50-year-old man to put his tongue into another man's mouth without their consent, man or woman.
Honestly, dude, if I was just at a friend's house and there weren't videos involved and they pranked me like that, I'd probably... I don't know if
Well,
I'd be
that's-
friends with them anymore.
That's the thing, that when
Yeah.
when there are cameras involved, you also don't want to look bad, and you want to
Yeah,
play
no,
along.
I'm
and
not
you
saying
wanna
that
be
to
like,
dismiss you. I'm saying
Right.
that because it's
So-
like even just on a friend level, that prank is so fucked up to do. But does it bother you? Do you ask yourself, like, why did he do it to me? He specifically called you. You were not you. He said, "Come over." They specifically thought of you for this prank.
Yeah, I have no idea why, and I definitely have thought, many different reasons of what it could have been. But, at this point, with how much I see David and Jason kind of dodging things, like, I don't know if Jason was secretly sexually attracted to me and wanted an excuse to, have a sexual act with me without me knowing. Because if they knew that I would say yes to that, why would they have not asked? They knew I would. Like, no, don't do this.
Yeah.
And then it would never happen.
Oh, that's a gross thought.
Yeah. And any sort of like evidence, it's like they should be able to prove that they had my consent. There should be a video, there should be a contract, there should be some sort of paperwork. And the only thing that David has is in the second video, which I feel like is racially charged, because he has me making out with a group of gorillas in a room, which is also something that is race driven.
So wait, I want to talk. Actually, let me set up the second video because I want to ask you about that. By the way, I just before I do, I did notice when you guys were Jason got so into it. It was like like, how does Jason do that?
Which is
it was
probably
just so messed up
like-
how he went in on it.
probably made it feel even more abusive.
Yeah.
That's how it's like.
Yeah, and then it's like I'm hearing other things like, about Jason, through certain credible sources that, he's sleeping with, 17-year-old girls at VidCon and, other people that, have different experiences with him where they feel like Jason has been very creepy and touchy with them.
Yeah, that's what Trisha says about him.
And then it makes me feel like, okay, maybe this is like, I don't know if you're, like sexually turned on by watching this video. And then if you go right now, I called David about, I think it was sometime in February or March. And, I politely asked him, I was like, I understand, like, everyone makes mistakes and, I don't feel like you hate me and, all this other stuff. But, I need you to take these videos down because they legitimately have caused me so much trauma. I just want to try to get away from it. And then he, offers to pay me money to keep the videos up. And then at that moment, I realized like he's not a friend. And then I look a month later, and then the videos are unlisted on his channel, so people could still watch it as long as they have the link instead of just privating it and taking it down.
So the second one is still up, by the way.
Yeah, and the first one is still up.
Oh, that's another thing that.
Wait,
that big,
it is still up, or it's
I watched them yesterday. I didn't have any trouble finding them on his channel.
Yeah, it's on an unlisted link, so it's not going to pop up.
Oh, so it's like in a playlist or something?
Wait, I think the second one is public. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys in back, but I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. They'll look into that, but the fact that's what Big Nick said is that people, whenever David doesn't want something on video, he tries to buy them out. Like instead of respecting their wishes, it's like people say, "I don't want this. I don't want this out there." And instead of respecting their wishes and understanding that it makes them uncomfortable, he turns it into a money thing. And money is power, right? That's influence. He's trying to influence them to do something they don't want to do. Like how much?
Especially when a friend is telling you that they're dealing with legitimate pain.
Yeah.
And then your next motive is to be like, oh, well, how much money do you want?
Yeah.
Wow.
You want to keep it up. It's like, I don't want the money. I want respect.
It's disrespectful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's even further than that. It's like
no one wants to be on a, like, I have other things that, you know, are going on in my life that are very important, very time sensitive. And I don't want to be in a situation where I have to deal with extra drama and I have to talk about other people and get involved in any sort of situation that, you know, might be perceived as negative, and especially with people that you used to really care about a lot. It hurts very deeply to have to get on this podcast and to have to address this, because if anything, you know, me and David, we should, when the fans were saying like, why don't you guys have a conversation behind the scene? I'm like, exactly. Why don't we have a conversation behind the scenes, David? You know, because it's just something that I don't even understand why it's a thing that you know, he's running away from, because we know, like, in the bottom of our hearts that, you know, this is bad for the fans. This is bad for the people that support us. This is bad for my brand. This is bad for his brand. This isn't good for anyone's brand to be involved in something like this. But once it gets to a certain point, you know, it's also about everyone's mental health. And that's why I'm on the podcast right now speaking with you guys, is because this is almost a form of therapy for me to kind of cope with all the stuff that I went through. Now that it's public, you know, at least people kind of know how I feel about it. I could actually openly have conversations with my family about it and my friends about it. And I don't have to go through every single phone number in my contacts and be like, hey, I went through this experience and X, Y, Z, you know?
That's something that really disturbed me from everyone we heard so far. Like Nick, same thing. He felt like he had to come on here to explain himself. And it's weird to me. I mean, worse than weird, but it's just bad character that David wouldn't say anything himself.
Also, there's clearly a pattern. There's people who are victims of his behavior. There's 3 now that we know of, you, Nick, and Trisha, who have all come to him, and he doesn't deal with it ever. He doesn't deal with it. He's got to know that there's an issue with the way he's doing it. But it's
and I'm sure there's more people in
right.
the same scenario where it's like, you know, like I like before getting on this podcast, you know, like I was very nervous about having to get up here and speak about this stuff, because this isn't fun. This isn't enjoyable to do. This is hard. This is painful to have to kind of get through, and it is very hurtful to have to go through this experience.
Yeah, I'm sad that you never got to talk to David about it, because it's funny. People blame you. They say, oh, he's just out for clout. He's just out here doing this to get attention. But it's like you said, you've tried to work it out with David, and he doesn't want to do it. So he's in a sense forcing you to discuss it in this manner. And you do deserve the respect and the recognition that victims of this kind of sexual assault get. You know, it's just not fair to you to dismiss you in all those ways.
Yeah, definitely. And especially when you have like multiple, like, you know, relationships with someone, because it's like, you know, not only in the videos.
Sorry,
like,
one sec, Seth. It's quiet again. Dan.
This.
Weird.
Probably something with Zoom.
Zoom. Go ahead,
Am I
Seth.
now?
I don't
Yeah.
know what. Sorry to give it a moment. Are you sure? Because when you turn it up, it doesn't seem to affect the audio at all.
That's why I think it's Zoom.
Oh, you think Zoom is adjusting
Yeah.
Dan? But Dan should have an external.
I do.
Not,
Okay.
okay on the stream.
Okay.
yeah.
Go ahead, Seth. I'm sorry I cut you off.
Yeah, no, what I was saying was, like, also, being a person that's not just, a character in the videos, like helping, just be a comedic support to everything. Like, I'm also behind the scenes, like legitimately setting up his video content that is too much for him to handle, like helping him, at Jason Nash's birthday party, getting him over 100 extras in 4 hours, booking 2 shuttles, getting music equipment, and also having to organize all this stuff while I'm in Atlanta. And I'm still dealing with even if you don't respect me on a friend level, like in a business sense, like I'm someone who's an asset, who's here to help, who's here to support. And in both fashions, I feel like it's just completely, it's disrespectful to what I do for you and also who I am as a person.
Interesting. I didn't realize you were so deeply involved with the logistics of everything going on there too.
Yeah.
Was he paying you at any point for that work?
Yeah, so at the beginning, it started off like I wasn't charging anyone for, helping people set up their videos, doing casting for anyone's projects. But over time, I started getting asked by so many people. And then, Alex needs help, Big Nick needs help, other influencers that, are outside of the Vlog Squad are asking me to help them set up their videos. And I'm doing it left and right. And my time is so booked that I'm like, yo, David, like, I need you to pay me to do this. I can't just, I can't even just do this for like a YouTube plug or a shout out or anything like that. Like, I actually need capital to keep this going. And then, of course, he did compensate me, but the amount of compensation that it is compared to what other casting agencies charge for videos that are created in, such a short span of time would really cost thousands of dollars. And I'm only charging him, a few hundred bucks because I want to see his business grow and I want to see this whole entire group grow. And I'm like, well, if I'm collaborating with you guys, everything that I have that's an asset is going to be openly available to all of you. And if you can't afford it, you can't pay for it. Well, then, yeah, maybe we could work out some promo. You can't do the promo or pay for it. Okay, well, then just do me a favor in the future. And that's literally how it's operating. And, a lot of times, it's like having to, hassle someone about, $400 or $500, when they have millions of dollars. It's just, at some point you're just like, okay, this isn't worth it, even if you are a star.
Well, so let me move on to the second video, because you had this first video where they quote unquote prank you, where Jason pretends to be Corinna and makes out with you. And so a lot of people point to the second video as they say, well, this is proof that he was in on it and it's not that big of a deal, because they did a second video where they pretended to cast you in a beef jerky commercial, and then Jason comes out as a gorilla and makes out with you, basically in the same style they did the first one. And so, and he says to you, I remember specifically, he says, do I have your consent to try to get Jason to make out with you again? And so tell me about how that video kind of played out and how you feel about that second video.
Well, David was sitting there and we were sitting almost for like 20 minutes and he was talking to me about, he was like, yo, I want to do that prank again. I kept saying like, no, I don't want to have to go through that again. I don't want to deal with, the repercussions of having all these people know like that other video people are just starting to forget. I just want to keep it moving and not, be involved in any sort of content like that anymore. And then David kind of keeps like, come on, man, like, like what if, how can I get you to want to, oh, sorry about that. Want to, get your consent for this. And what people don't understand, in that moment, I never gave him my consent. I said,
yeah, I did notice that.
You expecting to do something to me that I don't know that you're going to do.
That's all he included from you saying no?
Yeah, and you said what?
Because you're in your recounting of the story, you're saying you said no, I don't want to do it, but then all he included was that clip of you saying,
how do you expect to do something to me that I don't know how you're going to do? And then after the cameras are off, because our reality isn't just 4 minutes and 20 seconds, I was telling him on the couch at the apartment, David, please don't do that again.
oh my God.
And then he just does it again, and he sets it up this time as this commercial where Collab is involved. I guess Jack Link's beef jerky was involved in it, and then also David, Jason, and this time not Corinna.
Wait, was the beef jerky actually involved?
I don't know. I have no idea if that was like if that video, and that's something.
Wouldn't that be insane if they actually paid him to do that video?
To use their brand like that, I feel like it
I
could
have
work.
to assume it's not, but
Not what?
they're not involved. But at the same time,
I don't know.
their name is still
Yeah.
part of it. So
Well, wouldn't that be crazy
I'm
if
really
they paid him to make that video? I mean, what the?
Yeah.
How would that make you feel?
Yeah, exactly. That, I mean, you know, I feel like, you know, I feel the same way that I feel now. You know, it's just shocking. You know, especially like when I seen like the MCN, you know, collab, like participating and giving resources to do something like this. Like they like at no point in time, like, you know, even with the first video, it's like Jason is the adult in the room. Like someone needs to be the person who can speak up and be the adult and say like, yo, this isn't cool.
They
like,
all try. The thing is, everybody's blinded by his success and his motivation and his energy. They all
that's
trust
why
him.
it's like at a certain point. I mean, there's no one to blame but David because this
course.
is his operation. And if he doesn't want to be the adult in the room, then he needs to hire an adult. He needs to have someone be the adult in the room.
Yo,
But if there isn't one, it's all his decision. So it all comes down to being his fault.
I am honestly disgusted by what you told me about how he only included that one clip. Because even myself, I'll have to admit, I hate to admit that when I watched that second one, I was doubtful. I thought maybe Seth is in on this one because he says from the beginning that he he didn't say, it was like the way that he cut it made it seem like you were in on it.
yeah, it's like real fast. And,
That's
you know,
crazy. That's so dirty.
Yeah, you're not thinking about it. You're not thinking like you just want to watch the video. You're not like, oh, well, is this actually something that, you know, could be criminal?
I did notice that you never consented, though.
Yeah, we did notice.
I said when I watched it, notice he didn't say yes.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. This leads me to kind of my next thought is that, did he know how badly the first video bothered you? Because why would he go to do it again?
Even just on a personal level as a friend.
Yeah, so when I explained to him while he was trying to get my consent with the second video, you know, obviously it's like how people don't see it. It's like he's like the boss, you know, he's the authority figure, he's the person that's in charge, and it's like you're gonna kind of talk to your boss a little differently than you're gonna talk to someone who's just your friend, you know. So I was just trying to communicate with him, like, you know, like I really didn't like that, like please don't do it again, like I'm not, you know, interested in being involved in any sort of content like that. I feel like it's wrong. X, Y, and Z, and you know, like I couldn't really approach the situation like, hey, bro, if you do that again, like I'm fucking out, you know, like or.
But whatever. You had expressed like I didn't like that.
Yeah.
And so I find it really interesting because like the fact that he sought out to do it again to you, it has to be in some sense that he knew that you didn't like it, and that made it more entertaining to him. That he thought that it was better to try to get you again because you were so unhappy about the first time.
Yeah, and you see that pattern, you know, someone's like, oh, I'm afraid of snakes, and then he comes in with a snake. Oh, I don't like firecrackers. Oh, we're about to put you in a room with a bunch of firecrackers. You know, it's like all these different things that, you know, might be...
Hey, I don't like sexual assault.
Yeah.
Let's assault you again.
I don't like being sexually assaulted. And,
yeah, I mean, ironically, it's proof that he knew you didn't like it, right? It's proof that he knew that that you were not down. And so the second time around, so basically you guys had this, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys had this brief conversation about it. And then how long passed before this commercial took place?
It was about like 2 months.
So you completely forgot about it. You didn't even, you had no suspicion.
no suspicion at all. Like the emails were official. Like
Wow.
we made a website and everything. So it was just like 100%. And I'm sitting there, you know, like driving from like my grandma's house in Compton to be involved in all these videos, kind of, you know, looking for something that could kind of be a break to kind of get me to the next level. And I'm like, oh shit, I just booked a commercial, like you know, hanging out with David and all this other stuff. This is awesome. Like, I'm super excited about it. I'm calling my family like, hey, you know, like I'm about to be in a commercial. Like,
That's
this is
painful.
good. And then, we call like my family, be like, no, I just basically got sexually assaulted
Oh
again.
my God.
I'm laughing because it's so fucked up.
It's so fucked up.
Yeah, and I same thing. You know, like I understand, like, you know, like it you know, I understand what people think is comedic about it. Like I get it. You
No,
know,
I'm not. I don't think it's comedic. I'm
No.
laughing at how fucked up it is. I genuinely
Yeah,
just.
exactly. I'm
It's like
saying,
you
like,
thought you were getting a big break and you ended up getting sexually assaulted. Like, it's just.
The problem
absurd.
also is that, like, as a stunt, it was really impressive what they pulled off.
Right.
And I feel like that's part of the problem. It kind of like blurs the bad side that comes
Right.
with it. But like the bottom line of the joke is so wrong.
Right.
You
The
know,
video
the
is so
production
impressive.
and everything is
Yeah.
really impressive. But what is the bottom line?
Right.
What is it all for?
That's a great point.
huge expense, you know.
So tell me, so you were there shooting the commercial. You thought you had this big break. Did you know that it was going to be monkeys coming out to make out with you? Because you mentioned that you thought that was racially charged.
No, I didn't know that there's like they said something about like, oh yeah, there's gonna be like these sexy gorillas and they're gonna be touching on you. And even then, I was just like, Jack Links is kind of like, what's up with them, you know? But then I'm already like in there and you know, already kind of spent, you know, a week before preparing and going through like this you know, script and all this stuff. And so I'm just like, all right, well, you know, like I'm here, like I'm just gonna do what I have to do. But even that, like, even if it wasn't like a sexual assault and if it was just like a video, I would still be like, yeah, it seems kind of racially driven for sure.
You probably trust the brand, though. It's a big brand. These people are more aware, more sensitive.
Exactly. And I was just like, oh, I trust the brand. They might cut in something else.
Yeah.
With, you know, a Caucasian kid doing something, and then it makes it make more sense or whatever, you know. But when I found out that was a video that was just for David's content, you know, it definitely made me feel like that was very racially charged, and you know, it is what it is. Like it's not a joke. It's sexual assault.
And so Jason came out as one of the gorillas and then started making out with you again.
Yeah.
What was the direction like? Were people was there like a director saying like make out with him?
Yeah, you can hear it in the
There's a
video.
director, there was a gaffer, there was an EP, there was a whole crew, you know, and I said that in the video. I was like, you set up a whole crew to fuck up my life, you know, and you did.
And so what was your feeling when Jason took off the monkey head, the gorilla head, and you realized you had been making out with Jason again?
At that point, I was just so ridiculously shocked. Like, I was literally in shock. I was just like, how the fuck did this just happen? After I told this thing.
Not only did he sexually assault you, he ruined what you thought was a really great moment, what you thought was a great thing happening in your life.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, and then again, you know, I just, you know, went along with everything that was happening. And honestly, the second time it was easier to kind of cope with it because I already went through it the first time, you know. So I was just kind of like, well, you know, it is what it is. Like, I'm a part of this group, and, you know, I guess this is how, you know, things are going down. And at that point, I just completely shut off and, you know, try to act like it didn't exist. And when I talked to my family about it, and you know, people don't understand, like, when you deal with a situation that's like sexual assault, you know, you can shut down for years and not communicate with your family, your friends, and even yourself about it. And then you get into a headspace and you start becoming a person and building a character that's not really you. And then I started being around David and everyone in the group, and I was just like, well, I really don't feel like we're friends because I don't even feel like I'm myself when I'm with them. I feel like I created this like character to fit into this group because I know that it's safe.
I know exactly what you mean, dude.
Right.
I know exactly what you mean. So is that what ultimately led to your you're leaving the group and moving LA? Was that you were just kind of this whole dynamic?
Yeah, it was shortly after the second time, and then also, you know, I was, you know, we don't make money off of these videos. You know, like we're not getting ad revenue. We're not getting paid directly from David. Like every once in a while, you know, he might be like, oh, I have this skit. You know, I'm going to pay you like $200-300 to eat a cockroach or something like that. You know, like you get opportunities like that, but we basically have to fend for ourselves. And I was just kind of in a position where, you know, I was like, you know, I wanted to get away and kind of start a new life and get a new, you know, kind of reset my brand. And then when I go to Atlanta, you know, it's a predominantly African American city, and you know, they're looking at all the videos that I have with David, like, whoa, this guy isn't like for Black culture, like he's over here blackface, he's over here doing all these, like, you know, he's basically playing a coon in all these videos. And you know, it made it harder for me to get support out there, but you know, I fought through it, and I made sure to connect with like the right people, and kind of built, you know, a small base out in Atlanta, to try to really escape, you know, this content in these videos. And even now, it's like I don't even live in LA. I live in Arizona, as I know, you know, there's people out there that know about, you know, David's content, obviously, but it's not as hectic as LA, where, you know, I'm going to these parties with these people that have, you know, millions of followers that, you know, might want to bring it up in an Instagram story and start recording me and talking about it. You know?
Does it bother you to see like David, like he's just like bought a $10 million house, and then you're saying like you didn't really get compensated at all?
Paid for the prank video?
You didn't get paid at all for those prank videos, right?
No.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah, because,
That's so insane.
by the way, people like to compare it to a sitcom, and sitcoms, people get fucking paid.
Well, and all of this reminds me of like Jackass a lot, right? Where it's like
Right.
it's a group of people and it's like semi-real and they're all like pranking each other all the time or whatever. But all those dudes got paid.
Right.
Like they were all part of the cast.
Yeah, it's like, how is it like a sitcom when David's the only one getting paid and accolades? And, you know, it's like another thing is like everybody gets shit on except David, it seems like, too. It's easy for him. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, just bad vibes.
Yeah, and so I want to clear on the second video, because he did set it up like as a commercial, and I explained to him like, bro, like this is literally like I spent like a week like doing all of this, you know, setting all this up. Like he did compensate my time for that video. But
Only
you know,
after you asked him, like, dude, you got to pay.
Only after I told him, like, seriously, like, bro, like, I don't know if I could pay my rent this month, because I was relying on one situation to basically help me move into a new place, which is literally what
my God.
it was. And then he was arguing with me about giving me the money. And he was
So
like,
wait, were you offered money by the advertising, the fake Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
yeah, I was offered money.
That is, it's just like it keeps
shit.
getting worse and worse.
How much money did they offer to pay you?
It was $2,500.
So they offered you $2,500, and then he's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm not even paying you."
Yeah, and then I was like, "Bro, you have like this isn't even just
my jaw is dropping.
And by the way, that's not even that much.
Oh, he can definitely afford $2,500. He's very wealthy. He makes a lot. That video had 10 million views.
Right.
Yeah, which I'm sure he made, and if he partnered with Jack Links, you know, he probably made like 50 to 100 grand off of that video.
My jaw is on the floor.
You got to think about the amount of cost that it takes to even make something like that. I mean, that probably cost me $1,000 just to set up with the cameras and the crew and getting everything.
Let me ask you this: how much did he end up paying you? Was it the full $2,500?
Yeah, for the second video. The first video, I was not compensated anything, and then all the other vlogs, I wasn't compensated.
I am absolutely flabbergasted that he tried to stiff you out of that money. That's just. And you know what? It's humiliating to have to go to your
house after that, and I literally had to grab him, and I was like, bro, like, I can't walk. If I walk out of here and you don't send me that money, I will literally not be able to have a home. So I have to have you, you know, compensate me for this.
That is so shocking.
I was okay with it. It was because I was in a devastated position where, you know, I was in between places to live. And so I had to say, you know, like, bro, I need something.
Do you think he
know?
targeted you because he saw you as kind of an easy mark, as someone who was vulnerable, and because like you said, you were a little bit down and out, just based on what you're saying now, and he saw you as somebody that he could fuck with, who wouldn't really push back because they were in this desperate situation?
Yeah, I think it's that, and then also I am coming to really believe that it is also my race as well, because I also see how, you know, David, you know, treated other people that were my friends that were black, you know, with you know.
Did he try not to pay you at first when you asked him?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He literally
You said,
walked
"Yo, you need to pay me." What did he say?
It's hard with Zoom sometimes, so.
Oh yeah. So he was literally walking out of the house like after we were done or whatever. We just like we're like, you know, we kind of just, me and the other members talked or whatever, and then he was like, okay, I'm about to get out of here. So he was walking out, and I was just like, I grabbed him by the arm and I was like, David, like you have to compensate me for what you said you were going to compensate me for this commercial, because I literally.
And he said no.
Right now, and he was just like, oh, come on, man, like, you know, like I'll tag you in the video, and I was just like, I was like, I need, like, tagging me in the video isn't gonna help me eat tonight, bro. Like,
Oh my God.
I am
Can I just
blown
cut
away.
in? I just discovered something, because I found the video is still on YouTube, but it's unlisted. And I was curious about the Jack Links thing. I'm like, does this say like brought to you by Jack's Link in the description? It doesn't, but it's does have tags of other people in this video, and Seth is like the 20th person down in the list on the, even though you are literally the subject of the video.
I accepted some money. He didn't tag me like that in the video.
Oh my God. What a
Oh
douche.
my God.
My jaw is on the fucking floor. I mean, it's not funny.
It's not.
It's humiliating.
It's
And by the
not.
way,
Just laughing because of how
It's
absurd it
It's
is.
just, we're shocked.
and by the
Yeah.
way, to have to go and beg for money from the person who just sexually assaulted you, it's got to feel so humiliating too.
It
on
is
top of it,
100%. It's very humiliating, and it's even more humiliating to be on a podcast having to say that all this happened to me. You know, like when people were, you know, in my comments saying all these different things about like why I'm doing this. I'm like, if anything, this is hurting me more than it's hurting me, you know. But it's like I have to get through this mentally, and I know eventually people will know what the truth is, and I'm not afraid to say everything that was true. You know, I could have lied and said, oh, David didn't compensate me anything, or whatever, try to make him look like a worse person than he is. But
Honestly, you don't need to. You're telling us
Yeah.
the truth, and it really is even worse than we would have thought. You don't even need to try to lie. It's so bad on so many levels, and you shouldn't be feeling ashamed, even though
Dude,
know
I'm
it
blown
sounds like
away.
you are feeling shame and guilt and all this stuff. You really shouldn't, but it's just fucked up, really.
there's one other thing I wanted to ask you about. So, on Jason and David's podcast, he accused you of stealing $50,000 from him to build an infinity pool. Were you aware of that?
yeah, I seen that video. Yeah. So one, that video is obviously taken down because it's not the true story of what actually happened. Basically, the actual story is like, it's like if I recommended you to go to a certain pizza place, and then you go to the pizza place and they say that they're going to give you a pizza and then they don't. It doesn't mean that I took the money or I stole the money from you. It just means I gave you a bad recommendation that I did my research on to try to make sure that everything was done correctly. And I have like receipts of the amount of money that was spent. And one, it wasn't over $50,000. It was like $10,000 or something like that for him to build a pool. And basically the guy who I recommended to build the pool, he just ended up running off and like moving. It was just one of those things like, how the fuck did this happen? Like, this is so bad. You know, this guy just like ran off, and I felt really bad about it. And I talked to David about it, and I was like, you know, like I could reach out to some lawyers and, you know, try to see what we can do about this situation. But, you know, I'm recommending people. My job is to give recommendations all day. And I give people, you know, 50, you know, I might recommend 50 different individuals to another individual. So every once in a while, yes, we do have bad seeds or have things that go wrong or will have disputes. And, you know, sometimes I'll book, you know, an extra for a video for, you know, another YouTuber, and then they might, you know, be there and then record something that they're not supposed to record or whatever, you know. Those things just kind of happen at times, especially when you're doing it at the scale that I'm doing it at, where you have, you know, 50, 60 different clients that all need a service, you know. So in that case, it was just one thing that kind of happened. I did not profit from any of that. I don't have $50,000. I never had $50,000 in my account. And I understand how people kind of misconstrued that. But what David was really saying is just like, yeah, I just gave him a poor recommendation for something, and, you know, and it's very unfortunate how it went, and I did everything that I could to try to correct it. And
do you think, what did you think when David put you on blast publicly? It feels like a little fucked up after everything you guys have been through to then put you on blast and to suggest that you perhaps stole $50,000 from him.
Yeah, and I didn't know if that podcast was recent or if it just like resurfaced, but, you know, obviously it's like another, you know, stab in the heart. You know, it's just like, bro, you know how hard I work.
By the way, I'm looking at the thumbnail. It says the title of this video, just to put it in context for you,
it's not,
is Seth scams David for $50,000, and the thumbnail is you guys standing next to each other with a minus $50,000.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like you could imagine how something like that, the reason why there's one of the videos that got up to like, you know, like hundreds of thousands of views, you know, and I had to, you know, make sure the video was taken down because people are Googling my name, looking up, you know, my business Certified Casting, and then they see a video of Seth stole $50,000, like that might influence them to be like, oh, well, I probably shouldn't use this service. So it's like, when I'm trying to get away from you and build my own thing, you're still coming at me, attacking me, trying to put me down. I'm just over.
You didn't have to say that publicly. I just like, why did you have to say that?
Especially if he's not even being completely truthful.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm not talking about all the invoices and shit that you're late on paying on, and you're a multi-millionaire, and going in on you about how you're asking for discounts for shit just because you're David Dobrik. You know, like I'm not always bringing up those things, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, you have bad business practices too, you know, and you have things that you do that are wrong and flawed as well, you know. And I'm never the type of person to be like, I'm always right. Like, my company is not perfect. We're a startup. We're doing everything we can. We're breaking records with the amount of content that we're getting uploaded on the internet through helping produce and cast these things. And I'm very proud of it. But at the end of the day, I'm still a human being just trying to do the best that I can do, and we have hiccups, and I would prefer if the hiccups that we make aren't always public.
Well, also, he has such a large platform. It's like, what's the point of airing that dirty laundry?
Yeah.
Especially after everything you guys have been through. I don't know. Well, I'm really sorry for everything you've been through, man. I mean, it's really fucked up. It's most fucked up is that you're the victim of this 2 sexual assaults, and somehow you're painted as like the bad guy in all this amongst like his diehard fans. You know, it's so sick, dude. It's fucked up. I'm sorry for everything that happened to you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all, you know, having me on here, and you know, I also want all the viewers to know too, like, you know, regardless of what happens to you in your life, regardless of all the negative situations, and you know, I know people have been through 10 times worse than even my case with the sexual assault or racism and all of that, but you have to just continue to build something for yourself and not stop. You know, no one can stop you but you. I could have took those videos and be like, oh, my life's over. I quit. I don't want to deal with this anymore, you know, and then go into my room and cry myself to sleep every night. But I kept getting up. I kept working. I kept grinding, and I kept doing what I have to do. And now I do have something that is an asset. I do have a brand. I do have friends, and I do have a lot of people who support me offline and online. And you have to take it upon yourself to get that strength, because things are going to happen in your life that you don't agree to all the time. It might not be sexual assault. It might be something, it might be a car accident that you get. You didn't agree to get into a car accident, but if you don't fix your own car, no one's going to fix it for you, you know? and that's what I'm doing now. And you know, I literally reached out to David like 3-4 days before the podcast to just try to see if he would answer so I could talk to him and not have to go public with all this stuff, you know, and he's choosing to not help fix something. You know, I feel like it's just like an infection, you know. If you have like a small infection on your leg and then you're like, oh, it's just a small infection, I'm not going to deal with it, and then it starts getting red and you're like, oh, I'm not going to deal with it, eventually it's going to be like, bro, you got to cut your whole leg off, you know, because now this infection is going up your whole entire body and everything's getting blown out of proportion, when you could just go to the source of what the problem is and treat the problem and then move forward. I'm sure you know. I'm sure Trisha. I'm sure Big Nick, and I'm sure and also myself. We don't want to have to be on here doing this, and I feel very bad for, you know, Trisha and also Jason's wife to have, you know, someone that, you know, is literally inside of them and was intimate with them to, you know, have these different stories coming out about sexual assault and, you know, being inside of minors and all this other stuff. And I think that, you know, it's really something that they kind of got to take the time to look at themselves to really think like you guys are hurting a lot of people around you that really actually care about you. I wasn't helping David out with all of his shit because he was David Dobrik. He was just a YouTube kid with a couple 100,000 subscribers that was my friend that I was trying to see get to the point that he's at now. I wanted this to happen for him. I wanted him to be this successful. And it doesn't matter to me if I'm a part of that success or not, but I just want respect. I don't want to be negatively affected by your success.
Right.
Right.
And when you reached out to him a few days ago, did he just ignore you?
Yeah, just ignored me. I sent Jason a text. I texted David. I called Jason. I called David.
Nobody
I also
answered.
No one answered.
Damn. Well, I'm sorry that you had to come in here to talk about it, but I sure do appreciate you sharing your story. And I think, for whatever it's worth, that I think it helps people sharing your story, and I think you were very. I mean, you explained yourself really well. It was really a privilege to listen to you tell it. So thank you for coming here and sharing it with us.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate you having me on the podcast. And yeah, like I said, this is really therapy for me. Like it's very appreciated to, you know, have such a big platform, because, you know, before I just felt like I'm screaming in a closed room about a situation that no one cares about, you know, but now I feel like, you know, with having, you know, people like yourself, Trisha, and others, you know, that are bringing this stuff to light, you know, regardless of what their intentions might be, we all can agree that sexual assault is wrong.
Absolutely.
Right? Yes.
100%.
We can all agree that racism and racist ideologies are wrong. So let's just push forward and make sure and not hold people in a state where they can't change. But we have to influence people to make the change by being on platforms and speaking about it. So I think what you guys are doing is an incredible public service, and it really is helping a lot of people, and it really has helped me a lot.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Take care, dude. God bless. Thanks for calling.
God bless you as well.
Wow. That was extremely compelling stuff. He was, I mean, Seth's amazing.
Yeah.
That he soldiered through all that.
I cannot imagine having to go through all that, you know? It's a lot.
It's a whole different thing hearing it from him, because you can tell how traumatic it was. And I can imagine too, you know, like after that first one going so viral, the second one went so viral too. Ah, fuck. And you know, I mean, AB, how does that make you feel hearing the account from him firsthand? Because yesterday you said he was full of shit.
Yeah, no, I feel horrible. I wish I could have told him, you know, I feel sorry. And I mean, yeah. I mean,
it just goes to, I feel like it goes to show. Well, you know, I'm ashamed to even say, like, I thought maybe the second one was fake too. But it just really goes to show that that's why you should believe people like him, because we don't know what happened. He says it wasn't consensual. We should believe him because we don't know what it was like. It's easy to just make assumptions like, oh, Jason was taller, or
And he's in
how
the,
could he be tricked into doing this with the beef
I think
jerky?
it's just important to remember that he is in the position of disadvantage, coming in and saying that it
Against
wasn't,
David.
yeah, that it was against his will, that he
Yeah.
didn't want to do it, all this stuff. It's not easy for him. So
Right.
why would he do it? I mean, people just don't think about it.
It's easy to just say, oh, they're coming out for clout or attention or whatever. But like the amount of shit
that's
they're
not
getting.
the kind of clout you want.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of shit that they get is way outweighs any of the clout. It's like, do you really get clout for coming out? People don't go, oh, I'm a fan of this guy now. You know what I mean? That's negative attention. You don't want that attention. So for me, that was a really powerful. His story was very. I'm kind of floored
I feel
by
like
a lot of what he said.
also what was really painful to hear is just, you know, it's from his perspective, also being a black person going
Right.
through all that is just another aspect we're not even, you know, obviously we wouldn't even know, but it sounds really difficult.
Dude, if Jack Link was in on that, that's. But he's right. He's right. Like the fact that his MCN collab was in on it, that Jack Link was potentially in it. We don't know, but like it makes
For them
sense.
to use the brand all over the video.
it makes a lot of sense that they would be in on it.
Yeah.
I do have to eat crow a little bit. I'm still looking at this video. He does have his tag a little bit because it's in here twice. He has like a whole list of collaborators and Seth's Ways down on it, but he does have his Instagram. Still not at the top. Still down a decent amount, but higher than
Should be on the very top. I mean,
I know,
well,
that's
who
what I'm
ca- yeah,
saying.
but-
Is like, dude.
But regardless, I don't think, you know, it's like, bro, I just. But do you see how, like, AB, not to bring, but just to kind of, so we can all take this seriously, is that, like, yesterday you said he's full of shit. Now, obviously, you didn't hear him talk and all that, so I'm not bringing that up to try to bury you, but, like, we all sometimes have those reactions. And so, like, this guy's coming out and sharing his story, and then there's people out there saying, oh, he's full of shit. Like, it's just so, like, he's already endured so much wrongdoing, you know? It sucks.
It's disgusting. Yeah, I feel horrible. I was defending him in the chat. It's like I said, it's not he's right or wrong thing. You know, it's not our place to, you know, to speculate on something so serious. And I appreciate his perspective on saying that, you know, being positive after the fact. You know, saying that it was a lot to put on him, but just keep moving forward.
AB, I know you're a good guy. You know what I mean? You're not a bad guy. We love you here. We're all learning. You know? So, God bless. God, there's so many details of that story that was just... I really think what David does is this pattern of finding people who are exploitable and then pushing them to the max because he knows that they're not a threat to him in the same way. For example, if he sexually assaulted a bigger creator, let's say I went to his house because he invited me at once upon a time to participate in the vlog squad, and I declined because I don't like being in those situations where you're competing for attention like they do. So I thought, I don't want to be in that situation. I don't like those kinds of things. But let's say I went over there and he did that prank to me. He knows that I don't need him. I don't need him, and I have my own platform, my own voice. Like, he knows that if he does that to someone like Seth, there's almost no chance he's going to complain because he needs David, and he has a very little platform. He has like 15,000 subscribers. He cannot defend himself or share. Like he said, up until this moment where he came on the show, he felt like he was just screaming in a void because he doesn't have a platform or the means to speak his side. And because he's such a small force, then there's plenty of people who are just saying, oh, he just wants clout and discounting his whole story. Dude, the dude was sexually assaulted twice, and the videos are still on David's channel.
Unlisted, but not. I mean, why not just write it?
By the way, he called him and said, dude, please remove these videos.
Yeah, right.
He said, please remove these videos. And then he said weeks later they went unlisted.
I mean, it took me 2 seconds on a Google. It was posted all over Reddit when it came out, and those links are all still live. So it's not hard to
What
find.
was the reaction on Reddit?
Everybody loved it.
Oh, they just thought it was a great video.
Well, yeah. I mean,
it was an elaborate
It is
prank.
very impressive.
Yeah. I think your point was really good, Hila, about how it's like you get caught up in how elaborate and well executed the video is, and the narrative and everything, that you lose sight there's actually a victim.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe people just assume that it's
they're
a sitcom and they're all in on it too. You know?
Yeah, again, I mean, the more I'm learning about this, because I've never really been a fan or followed them or anything, but the more I'm learning about it, I said it before, but it really does kind of remind me of the Jackass dynamic, where they pull these elaborate pranks on each other.
Yeah, but those guys were hardcore. They were all in on it. They were all getting paid.
Well, yes, but also they had a bunch of them got addicted to drugs, and their lives fell apart after the fact, and it's like, it's not necessarily the best thing to model anyways, but yes, it was consensual. They were all under contract. They were going into it knowing that that's what they're signing up for, is they're all going to do these horrible pranks to each other or whatever. And it seems like David, is kind of emulating that dynamic, but while, paying people in tags on Instagram or whatever.
Bro,
Well, but also they're not
yeah,
actually
it's-
fully consenting, like Jackass.
They're
Right,
not
exactly.
consenting.
Yeah.
They have no
Like
vested.
Trisha asking clearly to not consent and to not have the video be put up and all this stuff, and he still does it anyway. I mean,
Right.
They have no dude. I can't. I'm blown away, man. I'm just blown away. And you know what's fucked up is that probably David is going to have to confront this now. I feel like his accounting was so powerful. Maybe David just keeps ignoring it. I don't know, but
It seems like he just keeps ignoring
I
everything.
wish he would just talk to the guy. It's like he said. He wouldn't have to come on the podcast and talk. I wish he would just talk to the guy. The guy who he worked for him, he helped him, he did all this shit for him. And then he just discarded him like he did Big Nick when he realized. Because Big Nick was also kind of in the same situation Seth was, where he's like, we can make him the butt of the dope. We can joke. We can exploit him in the same way. Because he's not going to fucking complain because he's just grateful to be here. You know? I don't know how you follow that. How long have we been going, Dan?
Pretty long. We're at an hour 50.
Jeez, man.
Got any goofs? Shift gears a little bit. Been a pretty heavy episode.
It is heavy.
Sometimes it's heavy.
Yeah.
I'm really fucking, I feel like very proud of Seth for sharing his story so articulately. I thought that was amazing. I didn't know what to expect, honestly.
I feel
And he
really
came
bad
here and
for him.
just, rocked.
Like, it's actually way worse than I thought, just from watching the video.
He did him so dirty, too, because he says, like, the second time, he was like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. And then he says, how are you going to get me to consent to something that I don't know how you're
Right.
going to do it? And then he just includes that.
Right.
Because even when I watched it, I was like, oh, he's in on it.
Right.
Man, that's so fucked up. I mean, how does that make you feel about David as someone who's defending him, maybe? Because I feel like he kind of playing the fool on his audience.
Right. Yeah, no, it's.
I think AB said
Yeah, I'm
everything.
sorry, babe. Yeah,
I think
No,
you
it's
can
fine.
let
It's
go.
just like, I don't, I feel like, it's horrible.
I'm not trying to dog, but I'm just
No, I
curious
know.
what your perspective is.
I think the lesson everyone should focus on, and greater than David as well in all these situations, is that it's not your place to speculate, to shame someone for coming out or saying something.
Yeah.
Fuck you, AB.
Trisha, come on. We're having
Easy,
a learning
Trisha.
moment.
Come on.
She hasn't forgiven you, but she'll come around. I think she'll come around. Are you going to come around, Trisha?
I cannot. His smirk.
Okay. She's still mad. You guys want to talk about the Gorilla Glue lady? I mean, I've been kind of invested in that story. Maybe it'll wrap it up a little bit.
Okay. What's happening?
So, Oh, Ian sent me something. Oh, what the fuck, Ian? Why would you send me this?
Why did you send us this?
What is this, Ian?
People have been spamming this thing all chat. James just posted this photo where he's pregnant.
Can
They
I
also
show?
wanna talk
I can
about
show
the
this,
bald
right,
thing.
Hila?
They want to talk about what?
About him being bald now.
Oh.
You know.
Oh,
So-
wait. Can I? Do you think I can show this, Hila? It's fine, right?
Sister.
It's a lot of skin. It's just a picture of him pregnant. I don't see what's wrong
I don't
with
really
it.
know. You know, you're the YouTube master.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of
I mean,
skin.
it's an artistic photo.
It's
Okay,
a,
I'll
it's
tell
a
you-
video he posted on his channel too.
I think it's
He
fine.
posted it too?
I think it's
Okay.
fine, but the algorithm, all these bots that scan your video, they see a lot of skin and they go, fuck you.
I mean, he's saying he posted it too.
I know, but this is live. It's just him pregnant.
Wow, sister snapped.
I mean, look, I mean, the pregnant video's fine. I think
Oh,
think
there-
he's
Is that covering? Oh.
24 hours being pregnant. What? Okay, what? I mean, look, he could be pregnant. Right here. I don't think he's bald though. I think the bald thing is total bullshit.
Do you want to show
Yeah,
photos?
James.
But I was telling Ethan before the show because I saw it too, and I feel like if he's saying it's real, maybe it looks fake because he has makeup on.
He makes up his dome, which is pretty epic.
Oh no!
Wait, is this a real photo of him? Like what? Like it's so airbrushed. He looks like
I feel like it's just makeup.
He looks like a sex doll.
I don't know. You think
I
he
hate to
shaved
say
his? Yeah, a
It
sex.
could be.
Oh my god, he does look like a sex doll.
It looks like a sex
You're
doll.
right.
Let's get glam.
Because he does
I don't believe he shaved
so
his
much
head.
makeup that you kind of probably have to continue it to the.
Right. It would look
No.
great. It would look wild if there was like a
So
line
maybe
there.
that's why it looks so fake.
I think it's fake. I mean, why? I mean, but hey, what the fuck do I know? Maybe it's real. Who cares?
Yeah, it's really
Who gives
not
a
a
shit?
big deal.
You know what I mean? Who gives a shit?
Right.
Is there any donations or comments or anything we should read before we move on to the Gorilla Glue story?
I have a comment personally. I can't help but notice that on the episode after Free Britney, Hila's wearing yellow.
Oh no! Are you crying for help?
So I completely didn't think about it.
Did somebody say either wear yellow? If
They
you need
said that
help?
to AB.
Oh yeah, AB is not wearing yellow. By the way, what does your sweater say? I see you're wearing an Arabic sweater.
It says "You Matter."
You matter.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
That's
you
nice.
know the creator. Yeah, Nishan Mars.
Mm.
He's a great advocate for mental health.
I hope you feel better, AB. I'm sorry that you're going through hard times. I know you'll feel better in a few days. And listen, I love you. I'm here for you. I don't know if you thought I was going to fire you or something, because I know a lot of people saying I'd never crossed my mind. I don't know if you were like worried about that. That's crazy.
Thank you. No, I didn't wear that because of this. He's from my hometown. That's why I was wearing it.
Oh,
but
I thought you were, dude. You should have just owned the
I mean,
fact
I'm
that you're
not.
trying to make a
I'm not trying to
point.
be like I'm spreading.
You almost did. You almost got brownie points, and you just threw it all out.
I'm not trying to.
We love
I'm not
you.
trying to. I'm not
Very
trying to.
special.
Capitalize.
All right, we love you. You're very special.
Thank you.
Yeah. Don't bury yourself already. I'm trying to help you.
Thank you. Love you too, man. Love all you guys. Thank
Any
you
comments
for-
before we go to Gorilla Glue?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to all you guys for checking on me. I do appreciate it. Every one of you guys means the world.
Yeah, in case you guys are wondering, AB was in a very tough place yesterday. I'm sorry.
Somebody
okay.
just donated $5. Said James looking like a bald-headed Bratz doll.
Is there any comments,
Okay,
Ian,
Dan, do you have
before we
anything
move on?
to say to AB?
To AB? No.
Ian?
Ian?
I'm just saying a lot of the donations have kind of, discussing what we've talked about. It's mostly been covered. $10 though wants to know what's going on with Gerd Gaming.
By the way, I
real
beat Dark
questions
Souls
here.
3 last night, so you guys missed it.
You beat it?
Yeah, I beat it.
Gang! Did you beat the DLC?
No, I just beat the last boss
God,
of the.
you're so
base.
bad about doing the DLCs.
Well, I didn't start a new game. I can still do it.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? I don't want to do it because I know that I just want to enjoy the gaming. I like to play with the audio muted and listen to like the radio, or podcasts or whatever. It's just going to take the fun out of it. So I was like, fuck it. Go gaming.
I mean, we already work so much. I was telling Ethan, like, do you really want to now also make your free time be work too?
That's like the YouTuber disease is like you want to.
Everything's
that could be, but you gotta set the boundaries on yourself. So that's what I did. Anything else, Ian?
Nope, that's about it.
Somebody just now said they're a huge fan of the show and they're a blacksmith and they want to send us a gift.
A blacksmith?
A blacksmith.
I'll take a blade. Sure.
Huh?
A blade for me?
Send us some blades, bro. So, okay. We've been following Tessica, that's the Gorilla Glue girl, very closely. She was supposed to call into the show. We got so close to getting that exclusive, Zach.
Seriously.
She was about to call in, and then she ghosted us, and we found out she was in the hospital.
Well, she had to go to the ER. I mean, she missed our show for
Zach was
whatever
pissed.
reason.
Zach was pissed that she ghosted us to go into the ER.
Like, who does that? I mean, come on.
Selfish.
Selfish.
I love you. But the truth is, and then we're like, oh, we got to get her on the phone. So we offered her, like $1,000, and then she just sent you a heart. She got TMZ involved. I'm sure she's onto the big bucks now, the big gorilla dollars.
But you know what? I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up.
Well, she's gonna come around by the time that everyone's over it. She'd be like, "I'll take that $1,000 offer now."
That's what I said.
Let's get an exclusive with Bagel Boss guy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, you know, how much would that primetime interview be worth? If you wanted that primetime interview. Like that day, you're like, go call us from the ER. Because TMZ was at the hospital.
They were?
They were at the hospital. They were at the plastic surgeon when she actually got. They were everywhere filming her. They got.
Did they pay?
Well, we offered money and she didn't talk to us, so they must have paid her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those bastards get the exclusive on
But it was a big frenzies, and they had the scoop. So I don't know. Yeah, they probably paid her. But also TMZ has a lot of weight. She's like HC Podcast, whatever.
Yeah.
TMZ, let's go.
Yeah. Right.
You know, as shitty, as bad as things you can say about TMZ, I have to always send them love for this very simple fact that they said they're the only company ever to reach out to us and say, hey, we see that you're using our videos a lot. We're going to add you to our whitelist so we don't claim your videos.
Yep.
Right.
And I was like,
King shit.
wow, that is so advanced.
Super cool.
I like that.
I like that.
They are like on the cutting edge of creator rights.
Right.
I mean, that is next level.
Creator rights.
We will overcome someday. So here, let's see. You guys all know the story. She put Gorilla Glue in her hair, and it was just absolutely stuck. So here I'm going to go down the line because we haven't talked about it in a minute. But let's see. She went to the hospital. Oh, she got some music on. Very dramatic. I was like, man, you could have got more photos. I was like, I want to see more, damn it.
Well,
oh, yeah, she's in
pain.
so much pain. Look at her, poor girl. I felt so bad for her. People are being so mean. Like, I get it. It was dumb, but, like, goddamn.
People are being mean?
Oh, yeah. People are being super mean to her.
Really?
Well,
what is that?
It felt like people felt sorry for her for the most part until the news came that she was considering suing. And that's when I noticed the very noticeable shift in tone.
Yeah, the lawsuit is probably not a good call. Because, I mean, it is kind of self-inflicted wound.
Yeah, everybody
it's not
kind of...
the intended use of the product.
Well, so I saw in the lawsuit, they say, it said on the bottle all-purpose or something like that, or it said multi-purpose, not all-purpose, multi-purpose.
Sure.
So she's like, hair. But I think it also says that it's permanent on the bottle. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they have plenty of warnings.
As y'all can see, the cotton kind of got stuck. But
so her friend, this is after, I guess the ER gave her tools to try to dissolve it.
And I'm going to try to, for it to not burn so much. That's why we got the water.
By the way, I imagine this is during like the Super Bowl. I think it was. You could see her like whole family in the other room partying.
Really?
You can hear there's like lots of people in the other room. I think they're watching the Super Bowl. And this poor girl.
Oh, people are saying the lawsuit thing wasn't true. Well,
it's not true?
But regardless, I mean, my point was that was when the hate started happening.
Oh, it wasn't true? Well, what the heck?
I mean, that's what people in the chat are saying.
Oh, well then.
Yeah, fake news.
People are crazy, trying to make her the bad guy. Anyway, she's in a ton of pain, and yada yada. She can't get it out. Basically, she started a GoFundMe. By the way, if you guys want to help support, 22,000. Let's go,
Wow.
Tessica. She started it because she wanted to buy wigs or something because she knew she was going to lose all of her hair.
Right.
Should donate $100, Dan, from our card.
You want me to?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Say H3 Nation strong.
H3 Nation strong. Roger.
Or say with love from Ethan Klein, and then in parentheses 6.8 or whatever on WikiFeet, whatever I am. Just put my current WikiFeet score.
With love from Ethan Klein, 6.8 on WikiFeet.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Writing that down.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, article yesterday, Gorilla Glue girl denies claims she's filing a lawsuit against the Gorilla Glue company. So, there you go.
Dude, the people are so crazy. Like, people literally making this rumor just to turn her to the bad guy.
You know,
like,
who,
I'm
you know
sorry.
who, not to do a little reversal here from what you were saying a minute ago, but you know who posted that rumor?
Who?
TMZ.
They did?
Oh.
Earlier this week, TMZ announced the Louisiana woman hired an attorney and was thinking about taking legal action against the adhesive company.
That's interesting because they were so close with her.
Right.
And now she's denying.
She said, no, I've never, ever said that. She said in an interview with Entertainment Tonight.
That's what? TMZ is usually pretty good with the reporting.
I don't know. No. There you
Interesting.
go.
The heck?
By the way, just to show you how big of a phenomenon, she was like unknown and she had 600,000 followers on Instagram. What is she at now? She's probably even higher. That was from a few days ago.
Let me look.
And verified.
And oh yeah, she was verified. Is that awesome? This is the real gorilla. You know, in a year from now, she's gonna be like, the gorilla girl glue hair, gorilla glue hair girl.
She's at 841,000.
Wow.
841,000. Let's go. Story was covered in New York Times, TMZ, New York Post. Gorilla Glue put out a statement. They said, "We are very sorry to hear about the unfortunate incident that Miss Brown experienced using our spray adhesive on her hair. We are glad to see in a recent video that she has received medical treatment." Yeah, whatever. Trying to cover their ass.
Whatever.
Okay, so here, this is when it gets kind of more interesting and more modern. Yeah, you see, they get this exclusive shit. She's at a barber's house, a barber shop.
It kind of feel like it may have softened up a bit, but we're gonna.
She's literally putting Goof Off on her head,
We
dude.
have some on
Goof
here
Off
already,
is
but
like
we just got
industrial
another
strength
one. We're just
adhesive
gonna cut
remover.
this whole ponytail off and try to.
Like, that is
let
not
it
safe
breathe a
for the
little
skin. Goof it off.
But this is pretty much a close-up of the ponytail.
Dude.
They got the ponytail holders in there, so I'm gonna
How
probably
is
just
it
have
so
to cut
strong?
it off a little
Dude,
bit. at a time
Gorilla
and try to
Glue
get
does
in
not
here
F around.
and let it breathe a little bit.
Is this a Goof Off ad? Look at the can, all perfect. So she just cuts her ponytail off. And she doesn't know she's cutting it off.
She doesn't?
No. Look at her. She goes, why are you cutting? Listen to her. Why does it sound like you're cutting hair?
You can't keep none of this.
Which is funny because the plastic surgeon that ended up actually getting it off did keep her hair. So her barber kind of fucked her. 'cause
That
she-
was one of the things she said right after. You can hear. Well, I guess we'll watch the video, but she's like, "I wish I'd known this before." I cut
So
the
her
ponytail."
barber just cut her ponytail off without telling her.
Oh my
just
God.
cut her whole ponytail off. That must have taken her a long time to grow that. It was pretty long.
Oh my god.
So it's like, what the fuck did you do? Now look at her dome.
What?
Like, I don't know why she did that. That was
Why
not
did
helpful.
she do that?
It hurt. I was able to get the ponytail off, but it's still not opening it
So
up.
she wanted to let it
As
breathe.
y'all can see, it's still kind of holding, so you're not letting it air in too much, but I mean, just a little bit. Got a little opening right there. So y'all, she might get a little bit of air out of that.
She
But
wanted to let a little bit
not
of
much,
air
'cause
in
it's
there.
still
I'm
pretty
not sure
hard.
what's the strategy. So this barber just fucked her shit up. Just to get a little bit of air in there, apparently. It's crazy. This poor girl, man. Look at this. Look at this, Hila. Look at that. That's what the
Look at
barber
them
did
with
to
the
her.
TMZ watermark.
Hell yeah, boy! They got the exclusive.
Bastards.
Damn. Oh my god. Oh, this girl's having a bad time. Look how, dude. Look at her hair, bro.
It's just.
It looks like
so
asphalt.
stock.
Yeah, it's just goof off.
So what's the
Goof off
latest?
did not work. I'm surprised Goof off didn't work. Jeez. So moving on, let's see. Gorilla Glue hairdo can't get it out even after ER visit.
How much did you say to donate, by the way?
It's 22,000.
What?
No, how much
no,
do you
no.
want to donate?
Oh, $100.
$100. Okay.
Yeah.
$100.
Yeah, thank you.
That's right, or you?
What?
It's just like a stink.
I am hardcore.
What? I don't
smelling
stink.
that.
What?
No, I'm not saying it's you, but I also.
You smell
Is he
something?
chewing something?
I think
I
somebody.
think it smells awful.
I think somebody took a fat
Yeah.
shit down here.
I think I gotta check. You don't smell it?
You don't
No.
smell it?
It's like
It's
awful.
really
It could
bad.
be. Sometimes the shower dries out and it wafts in like a sewagey smell. So just run the shower.
Okay, maybe.
Or maybe Shredder took a dump. I don't know.
It's fucking putrid. You don't smell that.
This is sick.
I literally don't smell anything.
Just as Hila was saying it, it was like hitting me. I'm like, what? The
Maybe it
fuck
hasn't
am I
reached
smelling?
me yet. I don't know. Anyway, my wife left a Whopper poo on my bed.
Wow.
That was a good,
Zach.
perfect moment. Let's see. Tessica hired. Oh, so this says she hired an attorney. She denies that. That's good. Check the bathroom. Let's see. It's that. You see a dump? There's a diarrhea. See, it's not me. He goes, you stink. There's a Whopper diarrhea on the floor. There's a diarrhea.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow, you think I smell like diarrhea? Nice.
No, I was asking if
You
you
think I could
farted,
excrete that bad of a
basically.
smell?
You've done it.
Okay, fair enough. I have.
You're also saying you don't smell it.
Sometimes I'll say
Right.
like, "What is this horrific smell?" And you're like, "That was me."
Yeah.
So
No, I'm just kidding. You're
I
right.
don't know. It happens.
Sometimes you get
Okay,
some stinky
I gotta
ones,
make
but
brown.
not this time.
You gotta make brown.
So anyway, the big turn comes when a plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills says, "I can do this. I can remove this for you." And this guy is actually a total legend. He offers to do it for free because he feels so bad for her. His name is Dr. Michael Obeng. I think I'm saying that right. It's a lengthy procedure. She flew on Wednesday from Louisiana to Los Angeles to get the procedure done. The estimate says it will take 2 to 3 days to get rid of it. Holy crap. The doctor felt so bad, he's performing the $12,500 procedure for free.
Oh, that's nice of him.
Oh, here we go. Thank you. We got the $100 donation up for Tessica. Where's my comment? I don't see the...
Three.
Whoa. Flew on Wednesday. Whoa. I accidentally opened the stream. Where's my comment?
I don't think you can leave comments.
Oh, that just goes to her? So she's just going to be like, the fuck? The wiki feet.
Wait, it said something about WikiFeet?
My donation.
I didn't see the comment on there, so I wasn't sure if
It was my
he was able to do it.
Okay, anyway. So, I smell it now.
There you go.
So here's a TMZ exclusive interview. They've got the whole package, these guys.
We are going to move on. Yes, to the woman whose hair has captivated
Oh,
the nation.
I smell
it. Tessica, right. I can't.
I got to be
imagine.
honest, the interview's not that interesting. TMZ, you dropped the ball. Ugh.
We could have handled it much better.
Now I smell it, see?
Okay, good. The chat was saying Ethan's got COVID. That's why you couldn't smell it.
Oh, I smell it.
You smell it now.
So she was actually put under light anesthesia during the procedure.
Damn.
Here's a video of it going down. Again, TMZ's in the room.
Trenches.
You know they got a package deal.
This way.
Oh, look at her hair. Oh, man. The world famous Gorilla Glue girl. So here's the surgeon. She's sleeping, man. She got her under. He's going in with some tweezers.
They're literally in the surgery room. How does?
Yeah, that's not sanitary. I don't think they're opening wounds or anything. They're
It's
just
true. I guess it's fine.
Oh my goodness! Look at him in there just tweezing at it.
This is like the best angle or like version of seeing just how fucked it really is.
This is amazing content. I haven't seen this video actually. I didn't know we had this. Move your arm, lady. So he describes later in a video that he developed some kind of solution concoction.
Yeah, which, I mean, not that I could have come up with it, but when they said what it was like, oh, that makes sense. That sounds like it would work. It wasn't anything that crazy, you know what I mean?
Look at them. They're doing it.
Could have made it at home.
Well, the thing is that it just takes a lot. You have to know what you're doing.
For sure.
Because he said it took even him 2 to 3 days. And he was really interesting because he even took like a wig and put Gorilla Glue in it and saw.
That's awesome.
So the guy really did his homework to try to help this girl. Really good dude, honestly, for helping out. Look at this.
So how did they end up fixing it?
So this plastic surgeon made his own like solution of chemicals and tested it on a wig with Gorilla Glue in it and saw that it worked. And you can see, this is like, I'm loving this. I don't know why. I'm just captivated by this footage. So they're running it through her hair right now. And it looks like they're making progress, you know?
Is she?
She's sleeping.
Wow.
They put her in anesthesia.
Wow.
And he covered the cost of everything.
Wow.
Did it for free.
Pretty legit.
Yeah.
I got the list of ingredients here if you want.
Go ahead, read it.
So it was a combination of medical grade adhesive remover, obviously, aloe vera, olive oil, and a dash of acetone. That's it.
Olive oil is always in everything.
Right?
Like I said, he really knows what he's doing, though. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like that girl just cut off her ponytail. I don't think she's qualified.
That was so annoying.
Ugh, man.
But who knows? Maybe they would have had to do that anyway.
It doesn't look like it. It really doesn't look like it. Wow, what a procedure. Man, she's going to wake up and just feel like $1 million. Or probably feel like shit, actually, because her dome was just glued to her hair for like a month.
I'm still down to do this, by the way.
What is
Zach,
how long?
okay, wait till we're done. Because wait till we get to the copycats, Zach, and then we'll see if you're down. He actually describes the procedure here. This was a really interesting video. This guy's, by the way, a hero. Dr. Michael Obeng, the legend.
My office said, hey, can you remove Gorilla Glue from somebody's cap? I said, of course. And I woke up. I thought I brushed it off. And the next thing you know, they were asking questions. I looked up the compound. Okay, the main active ingredient, Gorilla Glue, you know, polyurethane, and we figured out the science, how to break it down. So I then decided, you know, I now want to reinvent the wheel. So we bought chemicals that has components to dissolve or a good solvent. It's medical grade adhesive remover that we use in the operating room. The company was very generous to us. They brought me some.
It sounds like they had some kind of special product, though. He says he had to get it from the specific company to, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's not some.
When they were here. And then the active ingredient, I have another ingredient called MGD. I had an MGD to it, okay, which is aloe vera and olive oil mixture, okay? And then we add a little acetone, Unfortunately, I don't know why Gorilla Glue doesn't have a solution to it. And actually, I did make a phone call to Gorilla Glue.
That's a really
They were
good
nice
point.
enough to
Gorilla
determine-
Glue should have a fucking solution ready to go.
Yeah,
Right.
I think.
Lawsuit.
I called, but I never talked to them. You know, like I said, I have a chemistry background, so I knew that
That's awesome.
any compound can be broken down. And then got here.
See, look, he made this crazy wig.
That looks
Black
scary.
hair.
Yeah, why do you have to do it on a skull?
Yeah, this is real human hair.
Okay. Real human hair.
Like everything we do, real human hair.
Yeah,
we
looks
got
like it.
We stuck it here, okay, and then we use hair extension. So this hair extension, okay, with Gorilla Glue, okay. I can spend this all day. My kids were playing with last night.
It's a creepy toy, dude.
We went ahead with the
Piece of
chemicals that
mouth.
we made. We started using it. All this was matted down. All this was matted down, okay? We sprayed the first, so it started untangling, and I knew we had a product that would work. Surgery went well. She had a lot of retention on the scalp, especially the edges of her hair, of her head, because of all the chemicals that she has put in. And the head was actually...
Anyway, he says that, you know, it went well and that she didn't have that much... she was lucky to not have that much damage to her scalp.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
This one guy stepped up. Nobody could help this girl. I'm kind of surprised Gorilla Glue didn't have a solution ready. Shout out to his family, big time.
Big shout out.
Huge shout out to his family. Dee-da-dee-da-do. Okay, so anyway, Gorilla Glue girl is cured. Gorilla Glue.
It's
yeah.
good, yeah.
Dee-da-dee-da-do. There's a video of her afterwards where she's running her hands through her
Ethan,
head.
you're like halfway in the shot. Can you get... Yeah.
Deepa!
Deepa!
Where's the video of her when she afterwards and she's all good and she says, I wish they didn't cut off my ponytail. I don't see that one here. Oh, maybe it's here. Let's see. COD.
Yeah. This?
This one here? Yeah. TMZ's got the goods. There's music playing, so I had to mute it, but she's alive and her hair is back to normal.
You can tell there, and it's like totally fine.
Yeah, it looks pretty, looks pretty fine. She's just feeling her scalp for the first time in a month. I can't play it because of the music, but she says, I wish I still had my ponytail.
Honestly, this length is not that bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
kinda looks
maybe she'll
good.
get used to it and rock it.
Yeah, we're looking on the plus side here. She doesn't look happy about it, though, Hila.
No, well, I'm no. It's such a violation to just cut your ponytail like that without
She didn't
saying
even say anything.
At least it's
She's like, girl, I don't hear you. She's like, I don't hear you cutting it. Why do I hear you cutting hair? Ah, man. Anyway, so, okay, now Gorilla Glue challenge becomes a thing.
No.
Now, let me say this because YouTube wants me to say, do not do the Gorilla Glue challenge.
Obviously.
Do not do it. I don't want anybody to do this. Nobody should do this. It's
Stupid.
dangerous. It's stupid. It's moronic.
I'm warning you with peace and love.
I'm warning you with peace and love.
Not with peace and love.
I will not show any. I will not endorse. I will not accept. This is nothing with peace and love. With peace and love. No Gorilla Glue challenge. Is that enough for you, YouTube?
Thank you.
YouTube sometimes will fuck you big time because they'd be like, oh, you didn't explicitly say. Don't do it. I do not support the Gorilla Glue challenge. Thank you, with peace and love. If you do the Gorilla Glue challenge, you are a fucking idiot with peace and love. So this idiot, first some kind of prankster, he thinks that she's full of shit. And so he goes, I'm going to prove that she's full of shit.
Great.
Well, here, I'll just let him please speak for peace and love. Do not do this.
I'm going to show y'all something. I got some Gorilla Glue right here. Super glue real. Bruh. I'm going to take it, put it on this cup, put it in my mouth.
No.
Then I'm going to be lick it and get it off. It's easy. Gorilla Glue garbage. I'm telling you now.
No.
With peace and love, do not do this.
Put it on here.
Why is Gorilla Glue so strong?
Dude, they got a killer product. They got a good brand.
What?
So he just... Okay, so you saw that.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, they just cut it right there.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you see is him in the hospital with a cup glued to his face. Look at him. Look at him. And what's even worse...
What?
I fucking love
you love that picture?
So much.
Yeah. Now I feel like this is fake. Like, what is this picture?
And then...
Oh my god.
It gets worse.
It does?
He was painfully peeled off at the ER. Martin must now keep his face covered until the skin around his mouth heals. He's been told his face could get infected and he may need a surgery on his lip.
My god.
Jesus Christ. Can you
With
zoom in
peace
on that picture?
and love. I don't know how this laptop's weird. Like,
There you go.
it's like, I'm trying to zoom in. Why is everything adjusting? Like, I clearly don't need this to be huge.
I don't know.
Like, it's just, it doesn't help. The zooming in is just ridiculous. Oh, here
There
we
you go. Oh my
With
god.
peace and love. Do not Gorilla Glue anything to your face.
Bruh.
I do not endorse
Bruh.
this. Zach, what is your background?
Zach, you cannot say you would still do it.
You would still do that?
For this baby? I'm sorry, this baby?
I'm pretty sure YouTube will ban our channel if we televise that. With peace and love. Ian. Yeah, Zach, you're crazy. If you want to glue
Joker
something to your
brain.
face, do it on your... No. Peace and love. We don't condone that. We do not condone this activity.
Look how beautiful it is, though. Like, it's just shimmering.
It's not that
Zach, they're going to take us
It's like a totally
offline.
normal watch to me.
Nah, dude. It's
And-
craftsmanship.
Looks just like a watch, just some random watch.
I agree.
$40
I mean, look,
CVS.
look, it's a nice watch.
I thought that was the 50 Shades of Grey book cover.
That's funny.
Hilarious, Ian. Hilarious.
It's funny, I thought. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to hate on it. And yet another person who doesn't believe it. With peace and love, do not. Oh, they removed it. TikTok removed it. With peace and love, do not do this.
Wait, I backed it up. It should be in there.
I've got it.
All right.
Thank you. Good job, Zach. Zach the legend backed it up. I will not show any more Gorilla Glue videos. If anybody else do this, I am done. I am not encouraging this. I will not show any more. This is only to show the trend. Do not do this. With peace and love, Gorilla Glue challenge is canceled. That being said, this girl, after seeing all of that,
Thank you.
says, I'm going to try it.
No.
Look at this.
Why?
You know, this is really interesting because you
Stay away from my age.
Why would you do that?
it's really interesting because you get to see how it all started, right? Like I find it's kind of interesting.
Right there, don't this side is a little bit more healthier than this side, so you know. But even
It's still drying, so she doesn't believe
sprayed it
it.
on this side,
What y'all think?
but it's still tacky. Let's see.
Nobody's gonna care about you. You know what I mean? Good luck getting free surgery.
Yeah, right.
So that's it. With peace and love, do not do the Gorilla Glue challenge. We will show it no more. We do not do it. It's not safe. But just goes to show you.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Zach is like 1 second away from doing that. You said you do it on your eyebrows, bro.
Rolex will do anything.
That's weird.
That is weird.
You can buy it yourself. I'm sure you have $10,000.
It's not the point, though.
What's not the
It's the story behind it.
Really? You want the story?
So why do I need to
Attached
buy you the
to you?
Rolex then?
Because it makes the story that much better.
When he passes it down to his son someday.
People want me to address Fartgate 2.0.
Fartgate 2.0.
I'll address it. Let's watch it. Zach or Ian sent me the Fartgate.
Oh, another one?
Yeah. Yeah, y'all, Ethan totally farts at 3605 in the recent pod.
this at all. This is news to me.
So I watched it and I couldn't even hear the fart. But let's see.
Okay, so we'll start with you two. So
I didn't hear a fart.
I heard what
I
I
like
looked for.
fart challenge. I never hear the fart.
It's right under me saying okay.
Okay, so we'll start with you two. So
I didn't
I don't hear it.
I don't hear the fart.
Sounds like a Dan fart.
Anyway, they obviously edited to make it look like I'm like guiltily looking. Listen, if I farted, I would pull it off. I mean, I would act like nothing happened.
Okay, so we'll start with you two.
Look,
So
there's something you guys need to know about me. I have excellent sphincter control. I can fart very quietly whenever I want.
You got good shutter?
I have good shutter speed. I'm just saying, like, I'm telling you, if I want to fart loud, it's happening. If I want to fart quiet, it's happening. I have good shutter control, as Zach said.
Really?
Yeah.
So when you're with me, you just choose to fart
Yeah,
loud?
I like the blast. I mean, listen, I prefer to fart loud because it's fun. It's like a fun activity.
It's
I
not.
started farting in front of Theodore, and he loves it. He goes, more? He starts laughing, and he goes, more? And I say, I can't fart more, Theodore. And also, whenever I fart in front of
And I'm
Theodore,
like,
he immediately
no,
looks
no.
at Hila because he knows she
Because
gets
every time
mad.
Ethan does it, I'm like, no, stop.
And then he always looks at Hila to see her get annoyed, and then he goes, more. He's not really mad. It's all funny, but he's just so funny now. Such a little character.
That's the big thing right now. Everything that you do when he likes, he immediately wants more, more, more. So cute.
Well, that's everything.
Is that everything?
That's a hell of a show.
That's it, folks. That's all, folks.
We should tag Seth. I don't know what's he wasn't really trying to promote anything. Also, to much of his credit, he didn't even like. It's like he had no ulterior motives to being here. But
Right.
I don't know if he wants us to link him on anything or.
What's his stuff?
Let's just we'll find, or I don't know if you want to ask
I'll put it
him.
in
Or,
the description, I
Yeah,
guess.
definitely.
I just found his Instagram.
What is like his Instagram? I know he has a YouTube with like 15,000 subs or something. Oh, Ian just linked it. Maybe ask him first though, because maybe I don't know if he.
Happy holidays.
I don't know what he wants. You know what I mean? Just ask him.
Okay.
You're in touch with him, right? Yeah. Cool. Wow, that was quite an episode, you guys.
Yeah.
Huge shout out to Seth. And thank you, AB, for the apology and everything. I appreciate you, and I think you're a great guy.
Thank you.
And I hope you feel better. And I hope people can, appreciate AB is obviously... I feel like AB understands what he did, and he's serious in trying to learn and stuff from the situation. So I hope you guys can see that. And
If there's anything I could do to rectify what I said.
Gorilla Glue, say no more. I'm kidding, YouTube. I'm kidding. Nobody do that.
Subreddit, they said they have a bottle of super glue, Gorilla Glue, and they said some chapstick for AB.
I saw that. That's pretty funny.
To what?
To super glue his mouth shut.
Oh my god.
So much.
You've been through the meat grinder, buddy. It's good. It all happened.
Big leagues,
yeah.
boy.
Dude, it's kind of epic. You got put on blast by Trisha Paytas on her main channel. Like, that's kind of epic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's done that to me a bunch of times.
You outdid Ethan's debut Trisha sitting on the floor rant. It's an infamous video.
Longer. You're saying it has more watch
more
time.
points,
More
yeah.
runtime.
More points.
Yeah. A little bit of a bigger discrepancy in our sizes online, but I deserve it, I guess.
I'm just saying. It's a big break for you.
Are you sure you don't want to watch more of Joe Biden guy?
Joe Biden.
I'm so obsessed with him.
Really?
You want me to watch Joe Biden guy?
watch a
No, watch
couple.
some fucking Joe Biden guy. Joe Biden. I wish I could talk like it because I can't. He goes,
Dan does it really good.
I don't know.
This message from Muhammad Khalaqin.
Yeah,
No, to be honest.
No, it's just
I
the
am
way he
pretty
like
good.
moves his mouth. He goes,
Just the way you say Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. Joe Biden.
Where is it in the document?
You have to. It's under TikTok fines here. I highlighted.
Joe Biden.
You just have to like totally deaden your tongue. Like you just
Joe
act like your
Biden.
tongue is.
Joe Biden. Yeah, right. Joe Biden. Where the fuck is it?
Joe Biden, wake up.
Joe Biden, wake up. Bro, okay, here it is. Wait, TikTok fines? You need a better title than that.
I think under there was more stuff.
9/11.
I don't know.
9/11.
I think that's the one. we're
Okay,
about
here's
to
our
watch.
boy. This is all for you, Dan.
9/11.
What?
Biden, wake up. Joe Biden, wake up. 9/11. Today's same day. What happened 2001? Biden, wake up.
He said,
Joe
Biden,
Biden, wake up.
What is
9/11.
He's
Today's
speaking
same day.
English.
what happened?
He's speaking English in a
2001,
lot of these.
Biden,
But he
wake
doesn't
up.
finish the sentence,
Joe
right?
Biden,
I want to know
wake
what
up.
he's saying.
He's
9/11.
By the way, this has 150,000 likes, so
He's become kind of a meme. He has a subreddit now dedicated to him. I just discovered the other day.
apparently he lives somewhere like in Orange County or something. Like he's nearby. Like we might be able to get him as a guest.
Oh my god, that would be so good.
I'd love to ask him questions, man.
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, wake up.
Wake up.
Joe Biden, wake up.
What? That's him?
Yeah. What are you surprised about?
He's the best person on TikTok.
Oh my
Yo,
god.
so wait. What's his name? Mohammed.
Harlequin.
Mohammed Rajab Joe Biden. Oh, Joe Biden's in the title?
Yeah, so most of the TikTok accounts are fans that re-upload his stuff because I think he's constantly ban evading.
Wait, why is he getting banned?
I don't know.
Oh, because I know he has 1 billion accounts. Is that because
Well, there was that one video where he like kind of threatened Joe Biden's life. That
Oh, did he? I thought he was.
He said Joe Biden had 2 years to live. In one
Oh,
of the
yeah.
videos.
That was a prophecy. That wasn't a
I know,
threat.
right? But it could have been.
Oh my god. What?
What are you confused about?
It's just like, oh my god.
What are you confused about, Eva?
Everything.
Joe Biden,
I
wake up.
just feel like I kind of have an idea of who that person is in the Joe Biden videos,
Yeah.
but then that same person making
He makes.
Yeah,
he has like his political videos, and then he has his
Yeah.
fun videos. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, what is this
That's
aspect
wild.
ratio? I've never seen.
it's like even more narrow than narrow.
Yeah, how does he achieve that? How do you do that? I've never seen a video in this aspect ratio before. I didn't even know TikTok supported this aspect ratio. Look at that angle.
House. Black House, White House. This message for the White House, Black House. Black House, White House.
What do you mean? What's confusing? Bad boy Trump. Oh, an anti-Trump message. Buckle up, Trump supporters.
U.S. Army, one nation. U.S. Army, one nation. Trump, this is you bad boy, Trump. Bad boy, what you gonna do?
Oh,
Very soon I come for you, I kick you ass. U.S.
Oh,
Army, one
shit, he's
nation.
gonna kick your ass.
Trump, this is you bad boy,
Does he not
Trump.
have teeth?
Bad
Is that what's
boy,
going on?
bad boy,
Saying
what you gonna
bad
do?
boy.
Very soon I come for you, I kick you ass. U.S.
my
Army,
goodness.
one nation. Trump,
It's
bad
kind
boy,
of
bad
like
boy, what you
really
gonna
cool.
Oh, is this the little edit that someone made here?
Oh, this one fucking killed me.
Biden, wake up.
That's from
It's the opening of Half-Life
the
2.
opening of Half-Life goes, Gordon, wake up. Oh.
There's more.
Yeah, I'm going to start
up.
it over.
Biden, wake up.
It's perfect.
Joe Biden, wake up. 9/11.
What the fuck? Oh, man. That was so perfect.
I hope he doesn't get deleted. That's not me.
Holy shit.
I think we need to get to know him.
What were you saying, AB?
I'm saying I hope his channel doesn't get deleted because that's how I'm gonna get through my weekend. I'm just gonna keep watching.
Oh, wow. It's weird. There's like 20 channels of his on TikTok. But we should try to reach out, Zach, because as I understand it, he is somewhere near us.
Okay. I had heard that he had some ties to Texas. I hadn't heard anything about
Texas.
California.
Well, whatever it is, let's get him on the Zoom call anyway.
Sure.
In the U.S. is close enough.
Right, similar time zone.
I'll do my recon.
Zach's pretty good at contacting people.
He is. He's gotten
He almost got us
adept at it.
Gorilla Glue girl.
He did.
Right.
But not
Fucking
quite.
almost.
Not quite,
Almost,
though.
The one that got away.
Right.
Fucking almost, man.
That offer is expired.
I've failed you. I've let you down.
Come on.
I guess 1,000 wasn't enough. We should have offered more.
She's big time.
I gotta know how much TMZ paid her
I'm seeing
off.
some messages in the chat saying that we should check David's wiki feed.
Oh, he probably has a good score. He's with Heartthrob, isn't he?
Well,
Well.
I suspect.
The Foot Troopers.
Well, I'm curious
may
what
have
it is
already
pre-Foot
paid a
War.
visit.
Pre-Foot War. Oh my God, they definitely already paid a visit. You guys been doing work this whole time? I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Wait, shoe size 13? There's no way that's true. He's not. He's like shorter than me. 13's like big, isn't it?
13 is very big. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
right.
no way.
I wear a 13.
Yeah, but he's like shorter than I am.
You're pretty tall. I don't think he's that tall.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look. Oh wow, he's very generous with the feet pics.
I want to talk about feet.
They do look kind of big.
They look big.
Okay, calm down, Elo.
I'm not saying that as a compliment.
I want to smell feet.
Imagine wearing this outfit. I mean, look, with peace and love, but like, okay, maybe I shouldn't say
Shut
anything.
up.
Yeah, exactly. Shut up, Ethan, idiot. Their merch is cool.
I have to say the foot soldiers have really.
How'd you guys already ride? I didn't even call for war.
That's what I'm saying. They really started to kind of step it up. I don't know if you saw, but there was a highly upvoted Reddit post.
Oh right.
It was like red alert. Ethan's score is dropping. Foot soldiers unite.
Wow, you guys are man. You guys are awesome.
It had like 2,000 upvotes.
Someone here is saying
You guys are like storming the Capitol, and I'm like, yo, I didn't call for that. I didn't. You guys are like taking matters into your own hands and shit.
Someone said it was at 4.8 at the start of this stream.
Yeah.
What is it at?
Oh,
now?
David.
It was at like
Yeah.
2.
I was like, not
7 or
mine,
something.
Evans. God forbid.
No.
Dude, you guys are. Dude, we have 2,121 foot soldiers here with the 5-star ratings. We are overwhelming the forces of evil. 148
Did they add more
stars.
photos
Yeah, everybody's
again?
saying 4.8 pre-war.
Yeah, and someone is
Oh
out
my
there
God.
like really digging through my content for Footbit. Every time I come on here, there's more. It's really impressive. Like these are obscure.
Yeah.
This is from
What?
Little Shredder.
Oh.
Yeah, these people are in deep. That's from a drone. That's literally from a drone.
That's one of my favorite fucking H3 videos.
Oh, you like that one?
Well,
That's
that
nice.
is just that moment specifically where it was
The
flying
drone,
at
yeah.
like inches from your face.
Man, you guys are spectacular. I couldn't ask for a better army. David Dobrik. Wow. Yeah, he had
I
like
want to smell feet.
he
It
had-
was 4.8 before.
Wrong.
So.
4.8. That's a good score.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you get to know someone and you don't like them, become less attractive. It's like that with feet. You're like, now that I know him, it's not that great. What's real great? That foot's kind of gross, if I'm being honest. It's like hairy, stubby. His nails are weird. Don't you think?
I don't like close up of any feet. Any feet of any.
So weird. So gross to see. I agree. Like, this is so gross that this is online. Huge mistake, David. Better call Seth. What a weird photo that just is online somewhere. Look at this shot, bro. Anyway.
They're digging deep.
Good job, soldiers.
Someone save me.
I'm not saying to give him a 1 star. I would never say that. I'm just saying, here's his page. Interesting. All right, well, it's the weekend, you know. Let's all unwind a little bit. Take it easy. Be COVID safe. Can I have your sandwich, Hila?
Maybe after the show
It's
is over.
done. We're done. Let me eat the sandwich.
Not during the show.
We're wrapping it up. Thank you guys for joining us. I really do appreciate Seth. The stories he shared with us was captivating and
Yeah.
horrific, and I think it was very brave of him to come out here and relive all that for us. So with that being said, I hope you guys all have a great weekend. And we will be back on Tuesday with Frenemies, as usual, and hopefully Trisha doesn't kill me. But We'll figure it out.
Right.
Right. All right, guys. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Can I have the sandwich now?
Okay.
Come on, pass it over here.
I wasn't necessarily not gonna eat it.
All right.
You weren't gonna eat it? It's been like sitting there the whole show.
Because I don't eat during the show.
Yeah, then eat with me.
All right, bye, everybody.
Might drink some mayo wild incest honestly. Shredder will start barking, more freighters acting sweet. We'll do the real raw ritual with Maul and E.T. Share a laugh with the real GFC outlaw, Jimmy Lee. They said we wouldn't come back, but we always do. Rise from the ashes like the phoenix on the flex back to two. You're wetching H to the 3. You're wetching H to the